That's
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah.
grip. Wrong grip.
I'm not sure.
Wrong grip.
Not the imagery I needed in my head.
Oh,
No, but the perfect imagery for everyone's face when we go live.
absolutely.
That's
Life.
Whoops.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Welcome back to Therapy. I'm your host, Dr. Fraser Crane. I'm listening.
Hi, welcome to Radiant Shadows, a 5e actual play D&D campaign where one Kiwi DMs for a group of talented Aussies and hopes that the wheels don't fall off too badly. We're going to do a quick whip around of everyone. We'll do our introductions. We'll spruik anything that needs to be sprocked. And then we'll jump into things. I'm Ham, by the way. Hi, that's me. John, I'm going to leave you to last. Promethean, can you kick us off?
Sure. No, I don't have the Zoom rights to do so. No, Hi, I'm Promethean. I am a prolifically casual player of games, and you'll find me playing a game here on the It's Fate script stream, and now also over at The Law Rights, where I run my own little baby campaign, being a little noob DM. Just a little newbie.
That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Who are you gonna toss the ball to?
Cass.
Hi, I'm Shadowmere or Cass, and I'm playing Miera, the sweetest little halfling, and soon to be Queen of the Ziggurat.
Wow.
Wow, just putting it out there right now.
Look,
Cool.
Career goals.
Exactly.
Love it.
I'm remaining positive.
I just got a picture of Miera going, this is mine, all these things are mine.
Oh, it's
If I
just
touch it,
Everything
it's
the light
mine.
touches is mine.
yeah. Hey, Cass, don't you also play in something else as well?
I do. So Friday this week, I'm in another campaign on the Meeples and Dragons channel, and it is called It Fell Out Back, which is a Australian-based Fallout campaign, and I play Mayhem, who loves all things exploding.
Excellent. Lovely. Love it. Thank you. Who are you gonna gently toss the ball to?
I will pass it to Heath.
You know, as soon as I bit into my sandwich, you're going to do that.
Every time.
That's it. G'day, everyone. My name's Heath. I'm the Antipodean D20. I play a fun little deep gnome called Grumpfel. Yes, that's it. Sorry, I had to search the memory banks for a second there. Grumpfel, that's right. Everyone's bumbling uncle who herds this group like he's herding a bunch of cats and healing more often than you'd think would be necessary. When I'm not on Meeples and Dragons Radiant Shadows, you can find me skulking around the socials as the Antipodean D20 and promoting local gaming.
Awesome. I love it. I think Kate's probably going to be next.
I think so.
Yes.
I think it's me. Hi, hello. I am O'Sullivan Kate. I am Kate on most of the things. You can find me around the internet, generally lurking in chats at the moment, and playing on vastly too many actual plays, including this very place where I play Rowan, the halfling warlock. That's right. Sorry, my brain just like defaulted out for a second. It's back. We're back. It's doing what my camera was doing earlier. Just took a momentary leave of absence. I also play over on Dungeons and Doctorates, where I play a high elf wizard called Potentia in a PhD fantasy academia kind of setting. And I've just joined the cast of Mistworld over on That's How We Roll, which is their podcast. Our first episode goes live in 2 weeks, I think, but the Q&A before we start the season is up now over there. And more crazy, chaotic, silly things to come in the not too distant future, I'm sure, because I don't understand the word no, apparently. And I think I'm throwing to John at the moment.
Well, I'm last, but certainly least. I'm John the Dragon from Meeples and Dragons. We run an online tabletop specialty store. And I'm playing Tiernan, the Shardsmith. Shardsmith? Yes, that sounds right. Just wanted to spruik briefly that we have merchandise up on the 4th wall. Some lovely themed notebooks of the various characters and things that have going on. We've also got the stickers up of the similar designs, as well as some buttons if people are interested. The 4-4 link is already thrown up in chat. Thank you, Sarah. And yeah, I'll throw it back to Hamish.
Oh, and on the subject of Sarah or Saz or she who will be obeyed, Saz
like
is
that
our
name.
producer who lurks in the background, as often dressed in fabulous gowns and all sorts of things. She really goes all out for these streams. It's impressive. She makes sure that this thing actually works. She has all the bells and whistles. She is the official puller of the lever, which makes everything go. Without her, would be kind of boned. There'd be like, I don't know, one video screen and I'd just be talking to myself or something dumb like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So unless anyone has got anything else they want to throw out into the wild internet, we'll leap into things.
If I may.
Yeah.
I've got to say, coming up next weekend, when you're not watching It Fell Out Back, I'm hosting again the Aussie and New Zealand team for virtual GaryCon.
Yeah.
GaryCon 16, the physical convention in the US, but it's the 5th virtual GaryCon, and will be 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got Ellen from Rollercast here in Adelaide GMing one of the games. We've got Dread returning. He wasn't able to join us last year. He's running a game. We've got 2 newcomers. Anthem, who's the GM for It Fell Out Back, is GMing a game not on Friday because he'll be busy that day. And we have Vahid from Dice Legends from New Zealand running a game for us, and it's his first attendance to Virtual GaryCon. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be full of natural ones.
Outstanding. Excellent. Yeah, come along, check it out. Who knows who you might see playing in some of those games as well. All sorts of
fabulous people.
Yeah, fabulous people. Awesome. Okay. And with that, let's jump into tonight's episode with a very quick recap.
Yes, that's
Come on, we're not
wonderful
that
recap.
And that's clipped in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay. A recap of the previous episode. With the party in turmoil, they took a moment to catch their breath. Rowan, still concerned about the group's intent, again expressed her concerns with the plan of heading towards the ziggurat and trusting the strange presence known as Danna. The rest of the group, however, was focused on what lay ahead and were determined to continue forward. All except Grumpfel, who was still somewhat unsure, but more inclined to continue onwards with his new friends. Numerous conversations were had across the group, with even Danna contributing, again begging for their assistance, but acknowledging that what lay ahead was very dangerous. Rowan disclosed to Delgrim the strange rock that she carried on her, implying that it had something to do with her distrust in strange voice and entities, and after their talk left it lying on the ground where they had sat. Later, when Delgrim returned to see if it was still there, he discovered that it was gone. Still at an impasse as to what to do, our heroes finally reached an uneasy agreement to travel towards the ziggurat, to at least look more closely at it and see what they would find. Miera, Delgrim and Tiernan being determined to enter, the others still not so sure. As they made their way towards it, Rowan removed the rock, which had mysteriously appeared in her pocket again, and threw it into the darkness. What will our heroes find ahead of them? What secrets may the ziggurat hold? And will the party's friendships survive the challenges ahead? You begin the slow walk towards the ziggurat, the thundering waterfall in which you found the small shard which seems to contain the strange creature known as Danna. The water, the sound slowly fading as you head essentially in the opposite direction towards the ziggurat. It's not easy going. The ground broken, large rocky shards protruding, every now and then discovering small clusters of these strange crystals, which Grumpfel had identified as terrorite, casting their dark green light ominously through this massive space. Every now and then you can hear the sound, often in the distance, of a rock falling, or just strange echoing noises throughout this massive, massive space. You travel for a surprisingly decent time, suddenly realizing just how far away the ziggurat actually was. Slowly getting closer and closer and becoming to appreciate just how tall this structure is. There are a number of these large crystal shards protruding nearby it, which do cast a green glow across it. And as you get closer, you notice two main things. To the east, you can see what appears to be probably some kind of road leading towards the ziggurat itself. Along the edge of it, you can see a very low wall, probably only like 1 or 2 feet high, and at fairly widely spaced intervals, small pillars. Excuse me. On the pillars themselves, you can see what appear to be the remains of large braziers, which back when this was, whoever it was that lived down here was here, probably contained blazing fires to help illuminate some of this space. The other thing that you notice as you get closer to the ziggurat now is that it's not in perfect order. You had seen the large dragon statue on top. Was very obviously broken, one wing smashed off. But now you can see there are other parts of the ziggurat where it appears that the stone has collapsed inward in spaces. You can see signs of damage across this massive stone structure. The direction you're approaching from, however, you can't see any kind of anything that would look like an entranceway, at least not from where you are. You get to about probably a couple of 100 feet away and sort of realize this. What is the party going to do?
So, do we see the end of the road, which is heading towards the ziggurat?
The end of the road heads off into the darkness across this massive cavern. You can't see where it leads. So it's too far away for anyone.
Sorry.
Yep.
Did you say that the road did actually lead to the ziggurat?
It does lead to the ziggurat, yes.
And we are not on it.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're sort of coming from, say, the south. It's coming in from the east.
All right. Well, seeing as how there's nothing really in front of us, Tiernan's sort of going to gesture over towards the road, suggesting it'll probably lead to a ziggurat entrance.
Yeah, Miera will see that and will probably start kind of trudging towards the road. Yeah, roads lead somewhere.
Cool.
Roads lead to death. Those those braziers. Is there any material in the braziers that's lightable?
Braziers, Promethean braziers, not the.
You're on fire tonight, Heath.
It's the fever.
Okay, so you guys start to head towards the road at this point in time, then to go and check those out.
Right.
To actually see. Sorry. Yep.
I was just going to say, Grumpfel's going to look around to see where Rowan is.
Rowan's with the group.
Yeah.
Can I
in front? Or yeah, I was going to say, what's our party order?
Yeah, can I get
behind us in front?
A marching order would be great, actually.
Grumpfel's probably going to be like 3 or 4, depending.
And it's going to be close to the front.
And we'll probably be behind Tiernan.
I was going to say, yeah, Delgrim will be up front if...
Right.
Then
Okay.
I'll take the back, which is fine because I can see. So that's
Yeah.
fine.
assuming Miera doesn't, like, push Delgrim out the way to
Whoa!
get in front.
That ziggurat's
Good.
mine, she says.
So as you get closer to the... Oh, sorry, Heath, was there something else that you...
Yeah,
wanted to say?
it was just like as we're going along, like if that's the marching order, Grumpfel will sort of occasionally just look back to see where Rowan is, just to make sure she's all right. And if the like just sort of he's watching those in front, watching around, looking back to see if Rowan's housed. Not so much to make sure she's there. It's more to see how she's going, looking at the face, sort of how you keeping up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if need be, like if there's anything strewn about, sort of thing, just not pretending to care, but not being rude, but like if there's anything knocked over or something, like just to generally, that sort of like, oh, just watch out, like, do you need a hand over sort of thing? Just making sure that, given what happened last episode, that making sure that Rowan's mind is okay.
Yep. Okay.
Rowan is just like, she's by no means is she enthusiastically bounding along with everyone else, but she is like
Grumpfel
not dragging her feet in a sullen teenager kind of way. She's sort of just taking up the back of the group, keeping a vague eye behind, given that this is a cavern and that we don't know a lot about the back of. And just, yeah. She doesn't look super enthused about this because everyone at the front of the pack seems so very excited. And she's still a bit wary.
And
Yeah.
Delgrim truly is. We'll continue on.
Okay. So as you get closer to the road, like I said, there's sort of a small wall lining the side of the road itself. The braziers on the pillars are probably about sort of 7 or 8 feet tall. So to sort of see what's in them, you'd almost have to kind of clamber up a little bit. But firstly, though, I would like anybody who's sort of going right up to the road itself to please make a perception check. First roll for the evening. And I will leave it up to you all in regards to who would like to make the check or not.
Just to note, Hamish, the staff for the lantern bearer that Grumpfel has is not illuminated at the moment.
Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know.
Delgrim has rolled 17 for perception.
Okay. Favorite terrain, did you take that into account?
No. I did not.
My dude.
Front that one might be allowed to have extra abilities.
Yeah. Roll all the dice. I think it's just advantage, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
There is a hydrate in the chat for those who are.
Okay, perception, did you say?
Yes, perception. Oh.
Okay. I'll have to roll that again because that's a D12, not a D20. Damn it. But at the same time, good.
Okay. So Tiernan, what did Tiernan get?
4, but Blinky got 22.
Okay. Heath, sorry, Grumpfel?
26 with a natural 20. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
I'm wasting them early. Why can't they wait till combat?
Mirror.
Oh, that's right. We're not going to have combat this session.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Miera, what'd you get?
12.
12. And what did Delgrim get?
That'll bring it to a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Rowan, were you getting close enough or abstaining?
I think just her vision is probably impeded by some of the other members of the party more than, yeah.
Yep. No, love it. Okay. I mean, basically everyone but Tiernan would notice. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Would notice towards the ziggurat more. You can see what appears to be a couple of sort of medium-sized stones on the road. Everyone sees that the road is incredibly well paved. Like it's actually a proper paved road, like beautiful cobblestones put down. Like there has been, considerable effort in making this. But there are a couple of rocks which have somehow made their way onto this road. And you can see from behind one of them what appears to be a skeletal arm poking out just on the ground. Now, Delgrim, with seeing that, were you still wanting to clamber up to look at the brazier, or?
No, not if they're that high. That's unnecessary, I think.
Okay.
I can give you a boost.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yep, why not then? If Tiernan's happy to do it.
Yep.
Just looking for something in the braziers then to light to see what kind of light that shines on the area.
Sure.
Tiernan will try to pick him up and hold him up. Or...
Cool, excellent. You know what we're going to get you to do right now, buddy.
An intelligence check?
Make that athletics check for us.
Oh, athletics.
Oh boy.
Oh, Tiernan the barbarian.
Is the both of us?
No, just Tiernan. He's
11.
He's lifting you up. Okay.
Could be worse.
Could be.
Look, it's awkward and uncomfortable and possibly slightly confronting depending on where Tiernan's hands end up.
That's any interaction with Tiernan.
Yeah, exactly. But you would manage to get Delgrim high enough to sort of be able to pull himself up to look into the brazier itself. What you can see there is just ash.
So there's nothing really in there to light as such.
No, whatever had been burning in here has long ago. Does not exist.
In which case, Delgrim will kind of jump back down and just direct attention to this skeletal arm.
Mm-hmm. Upon having sort of seeing that, you can now see it was a little bit obscured, but it appears to be that there is an entire body there, an entire skeletal body at least.
Miera, you have become good with wrangling detached arms. Do you want to take a closer look at this remains?
Is it holding anything in its hands?
Do you roll that? No, not that you can see.
Less interested, but I will go and have a look.
Okay, cool.
Could Tiernan just stop her for a moment and say, that body, does it look like it's just fallen in a particular direction? Like, was it facing towards the ziggurat or away from it?
It has fallen away from it.
Away from it. Okay. Tiernan's not worried then. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So Miera, you're going over to have a look.
Yes.
From what you can tell when you see it, it is a full skeleton. You can see tatters of what appears to be maybe clothing or possibly even armor. Barely sort of clinging to the remains of it. Off to the opposite side, which you couldn't really see, you can see what appears to be a very old, very rusted, pitted short sword. But beyond that, sort of looking at it, you don't notice anything else of any particular interest.
No, like a badge or anything that says I'm, a knight of Hathzeal or anything like that.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Greetings from the Knights of Hathzeal.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is a killing word.
My name is. No, okay. There goes that joke. That's why I'm bald. Okay. Sorry, what were you doing?
I will pick up, if I may, the short sword. I just want to just want to see how heavy it is.
It is. You pick up the short sword, and it's about the weight of any other kind of short sword that you've ever potentially picked up or anything like that before. But you can see like the blade is well beyond any kind of state of being useful. Like it's rusted. You can see there's notches in it and stuff like that. Like this is an truly ancient weapon.
Well, I will still turn and offer it to Delgrim to go with his collection of other weapons that he's found along the way.
I only have so many hands. I do not think I can carry this sword. Also, it didn't look to need quite a lot of work. I had no interest in repairing this.
What's the
I'll
road?
still force it upon you.
Cool. Delgrim will take it, and then we'll just very casually try and hide it behind his back and just drop it.
As it falls on the stones of the road.
What's the road in the wall made out of?
Stone.
Just-
So the road itself, the wall itself, appears to be bricks. So a very well constructed sort of brick wall. The road itself is it's like cobblestones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we wish to continue?
Absolutely.
So following the road towards the ziggurat.
Yeah. Grumpfel paused just momentarily to say a couple of words over the remains of the skeleton.
While Grumpfel is paused, Rowan just wants to have a look at the rockets, like the rocks themselves that make up the cobblestone.
Yeah.
More from an interest perspective, not because... And to slightly slow down so that she's staying with Grumpfel.
Yeah.
Buddied up.
Yeah.
Squad.
I mean, from what you can tell, I'm make an investigation check. No, don't even bother. That's a ridiculous roll.
It was not a good roll anyway.
Yeah.
So sure. Yep.
You've seen cobblestone roads before, and this looks like a really nice cobblestone road.
Yep. Great.
With cobblestones.
Great. Cobblestone road with cobblestones. Tick, tick, gold star. Thank you.
Does it look maintained?
The cobblestone mountains. And Cobblestonia.
Mountains.
Yeah,
Got it.
Shit. It's right next to the bench marshes.
Okay, noted.
Okay.
Cobblestone.
God damn it, Kay.
Mountains next to minge marshes.
All right. Grumpfel will wait for Rowan when she's looking at this wonderful collection of cobblestone cobbles.
Yeah, cobblestones.
Yeah. So as you guys turn down the road towards the ziggurat, you can see now and start making your way down. You can see there are a few more of these skeletons situated sort of, and you go sort of another 40, 50 feet, and there's two more off to another side. You go another 70, 80 feet, there's another one. All very, very similar state to the previous one you found. There's a couple which appear to be wearing more sturdy armor, so breastplates and the like, but again, it's all suffered from the ravages of time. One of them appears to have been wielding what looks like a spear, but again, all that's pretty much left is just sort of an ancient spearhead. There's a couple of rusted swords and an axe.
We determine the race.
All of them appear to be kind of medium size, so you don't see anything sort of the smaller races. If you wanted more information than that, you would need to make a medicine check.
They're cobblestonians.
Oh yes, from the
Cobblestone.
Did someone say
cobbled together to me? Perfect.
Sorry, John. What was that?
But it sounded nice.
Okay, so make a medicine check for me.
9.
9.
Is that open to anyone making a medicine check, or just?
Well,
Tiernan?
I mean, Tiernan was very specific with what he was doing,
Yep, that's cool.
unless
Yeah.
he kind of communicated.
No, that's cool.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, look, they're skeletons.
Bipedal in nature.
Yeah. The other thing that you guys notice as you turn towards and get closer to the ziggurat now is that this road appears to lead to what looks like to be an entrance. There is a massive stone door. And as you get closer, you begin to appreciate just how tall it is. It's probably 80 or 90 feet high. This road that you're on currently is about 80 feet wide. The door itself is probably 40 or 50 feet. Like, this is a very significantly large stone door. You walk all the way up to where this is. And can I get everyone to please make a perception check for me? Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Roll the dice. 15 for Miera. Rowan?
16.
16. Grumpfel?
Perception, dirty 20.
Ooh. Tiernan?
10 for Tiernan, 19 for Blinky.
Delgrim?
11.
11. Grumpfel, Rowan, and Miera, and Blinky, you notice off to one side on the stone of the ziggurat itself, not actually the door, there appears to be a small, almost looks like a stone panel. And as you sort of notice it and look a little bit closer, there appears to be like a hole, or sort of like an indentation in it of some type. The other thing that you will notice is that there are a few more, you can sort of see damage done to the ziggurat around the door. You can see there's small chunks of stone which have broken off and fallen onto the road. Part of the wall along the side's been smashed where a larger stone's fallen. As if something has caused damage to this sort of area of the ziggurat itself. And there are a couple more skeletons here.
The damage isn't from time, it's from something physically attacking.
Looking at the ziggurat itself, like, it looks like a very solid, well-made structure. Grumpfel, Delgrim, the two of you would definitively know that this is an exceptionally well-made building. Any damage that's done to it would certainly not be from, like, the ravages of time. Like, you know, a square stone just doesn't have a chunk of it suddenly sort of just plop off.
It's an exceptionally well-made building. If only there was some kind of indication as to how to open this door. I have certainly not noticed anything.
Bless your cotton socks, Promethean.
Miera would like to go and have a look at the stone panel.
Yeah. Okay.
You take a closer look.
Tiernan's probably going to see if there is an alternate entrance, possibly an air shaft of some kind, and try to work out if there was going to be one, where or how up it would be.
Okay.
Is Tiernan going to wander off to look, or just sort of stand back to
stand back?
He's literally standing back because I'm trying to picture the ziggurat. Is it like a stepping pyramid sort of?
It is like a stepping pyramid. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So straight away he'd actually have to climb up the first step, which is probably taller than him.
Oh, like the first step is probably like 100 feet high.
Okay.
Like, it is. This thing is enormous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just going to look. He's not really going to.
Yeah. It would cost too much to make blueprints of it, because it's your typical pyramid schematic.
I could see it. I could see it coming.
Miera, what is it you have found there?
So, Miera, you go up to the little stone panel that you saw, and you can see now there's definitely an indentation into it, quite sort of fairly deep, and of quite an unusual shape as well. Not huge, like it's not like it's actually quite small, almost sort of like keyhole like in some respects.
Is it Is it familiar? The shape?
It does look a little bit like maybe the carving on a ring that you guys found.
Well, I'm wearing it at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Can absolutely check out your ring.
I will check out my ring.
Cool. Excellent. Your ring appears to match the shape of this indentation in the stone.
Just punch that wall, Miera, just punch that panel.
Going to be a little responsible, and I will point it out to people before I go and unleash hell upon us all. So yeah, I will point out to whoever was closest the panel and the possibility that the ring that I'm currently wearing could potentially be a key.
Delgrim will reach out and grab Miera's arm, and not forcibly. So if there's any resistance, this goes nowhere. We'll just kind of guide the hand towards the keyhole.
It's going towards the keyhole.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very obvious to everyone else.
Are we sure this is a good idea?
Fine.
Yeah. Has it already
Are
happened?
we sure?
Only one way to find out.
Did that cause you to pause, Delgrim, or you're saying that as you continue to use
Yeah,
it?
there'd be a pause for that specific response. And then possibly this is said to be a home of history and knowledge. So can't be that bad, right? And we'll use Miera's ringed finger then to insert a key into a lock.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the phrase "use her ringed finger" that just got me. It's fine.
I figured that was okay. So using the elaborate emerald emblem that's on the ring, Delgrim, you sort of guide it into the hull, and it fits perfectly, and 5-year-olds, including me.
You played yourself, buddy. This is your mechanic.
That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, I was keeping a straight face until Hamish started cracking up, and I was laughing at him cracking up because he'd be scolding us.
I'm a 5-year-old. You gently turn the ring, and you can hear a fairly loud click. There is a deep, resonating boom that almost makes the ground around you tremble slightly. And you watch as dust and a number of sort of small stones and pebbles start to fall from the top of this massive stone door. As the sound of ancient gears slowly turning as it begins to slide away from the side of where the panel was. More and more dust falls as this door just gradually grinds open, revealing to you the interior of this very, very large building.
I'm going to guess that this is not a secret entrance.
It looks like a main entrance of some kind.
You can all...
Miera, do not lose that ring.
Grumpfel's going to do a 720 just to as well as what we're watching with the opening. We're going to looking around to see up, left, right, behind us, anything.
Yeah.
Because...
Make a perception check for me.
Miera will be making sure the ring is securely affixed to her finger.
That is a 21.
21. You look around Can't see anything. Those of you who are now looking through the door, you can see ahead of you what appears to be a very, very large space. Probably goes about 70 odd feet into the building itself. And you can see that it opens out in opposite directions, out of view from where this door is. Already from where you are, you can see that there is a thick layer of dust coating the floor. In the lights, the various lights that you have going, whether it's the torch, whether it's Miera's little light man that she has, you can see sort of the motes of the dust swirling as it's being disrupted. But it's a thick, thick layer. Like, this is a place that no one has been into for an exceptionally long time.
Well, this is good sign. It seems no one has been in entrance of building, at least for time enough for this dust to build. It should be safe to explore this area, perhaps.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Tiernan, do you have, does Blinky have anything that would sort of assist in our making sure that this exploration is cautious?
like what?
I don't know, maybe a GPS tracking system that has bing, 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 and boop. I don't know. I've noticed sometimes with Blinky, you've got him able to do certain things that have helped us. I just have not knowing his full faculty and capabilities. Though I've seen him do quite a range of things. I'm just saying if there's anything that he's able to do to provide some extra assistance, or just while we're being cautious, would be beneficial. I myself will perhaps maybe I can help. And Grumpfel is going to cast. Where is it? Going to cast Aid as a second level and give 5 extra hit points to Rowan, Miera, and Tiernan.
Yeah.
Now they're not temporary hit points either. They are.
No, so your spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration. The duration being 8 hours, or until the points are exhausted, of course.
Yeah. Cool. Outstanding. Excellent.
I don't have anything specific for Blinky, but we can always send him ahead a little bit. And Blinky's still got his light on him.
Yep.
Which it's 20 feet.
So it doesn't even, like, he's sort of hovering at the doorway.
Yeah.
There's
I would be sending
this,
Blinky in.
yeah, little 20 feet sort of circular sort of, sphere of light around him, and it just makes you realize just how big this place is.
Mm-hmm.
As you finish the conversation, in your heads you hear the voice of Danna. Be careful. I can feel I know I'm here. We know you're here. I can help keep you hidden, but we know you're here.
This assistance with keeping us hidden would be of great value.
I will do everything that I can. Tread carefully.
Yep. My sentiments exactly.
Tiernan's going to grab some of his ball bearings and just literally throw them down the well, not really throw them, but roll them across the tunnel floor just to see if he can trigger anything. Maybe there's a trap or something.
Yeah, okay. So you throw a handful of them and you can see them skitter across the dusty floor, kicking up dust in the low light that's being cast through here from the various things that you guys are all using. Nothing appears to happen, though.
Okay. Well, send Blinky forward then.
So Blinky slowly floats into this space. How far forward are you going to send Blinky?
Well, you said it was 70 feet, and then it sort of widened out, yeah?
Yeah, so as Blinky floats in, you realize that it's not a hallway that Blinky is floating down. The door is opened, and it's just opening into some size space.
Oh, okay.
So left and right, you can't see beyond unless you were actually to go in. But as Blinky floats forward, it slowly illuminates the space. Rowan, because of your sight, you can see the wall opposite from the entrance is probably about 70 feet away from where the door is. And actually...
Grumpfel would be able to see that too. He's got 120, unless you're talking about a different...
No, 120. Does anyone else... What's Delgrim's?
120. Dark vision.
Okay, awesome. So the three of you guys, can I get you all just make a quick perception check for me?
Mm-hmm.
Is dark vision normal and is normal for the whole distance, or is it just normal for 60 and then dim for 60? Just because I can't remember.
It is.
I think that's a good question.
It's normal. So basically, it gives you hues of, like, technically speaking, it's not really coloured. It gives you greys and it's like
I just
being
just
colourblind.
couldn't remember.
Yeah,
because where you do a weird thing with it for the Indoctorate, so I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like literally you can see as if your perception was normal up to that range. Yep.
So I rolled a natural 1, but I'm a halfling, so I didn't roll a natural 1. I rolled, what did you say, perception?
Yeah.
15.
15. Delgrim?
Nat 20!
Oh, very nice.
And so we're using the favored terrain you said earlier.
Yep.
Yes. Doubling proficient, which brings that to a 26.
Whoa.
And Blinky's got dark vision 60 feet.
Yep. And Grumpfel?
15.
Sorry?
15.
15. Okay. So the three of you notice, you can see from where you are, the opposite wall appears to have on it quite a stunning mosaic, which stretches to the left and to the right, off out of the vision from where you're currently positioned. You can't tell colors or shades because in theory that you can't with dark vision and stuff like that. But it appears that this seems to show images of, from where you are standing, shows an image of what appears to be people building almost like a small village or something. So there's images of just the basic structure of small houses being put up, carts, people bringing stuff towards the carts, big piles of wood. It's all a little bit stylized. And you can see that there are bits of the mosaic that have been chipped away. Doesn't look intentionally. Delgrim, it definitively doesn't look intentionally. It just looks like it's possibly, whether it's been damaged from something, bits have just come off over time or whatever it is. But it's just age-worn and slightly faded. But yeah, and it's it's almost like it's a long-running image, and you can't see the entire thing as it stretches off in opposite directions out of your line of view, as you still sort of haven't progressed inwards to this place.
Okay. Does this village look like it's kind of internal to this area, or does it look like it's in the part of the mosaic that I can see then?
Yep.
Are there any kind of landmarks that might place it externally, say like crag slate or something
Yeah,
of that nature.
It's very obvious that that this village is being built outside, so it's not underground, definitively not underground. But there is no landmark features. It just looks like a rolling field with this village being built.
Okay. Tiernan, can you get Blinky to perhaps float by of these images that we could see? Whole image.
What image?
Oh, there's image on the other side of large space here.
Oh, okay.
It's
like
very-
a mural or something?
Yes, exactly like.
All right, well, we're going in.
I would like to see more of this image. It seems to tell story of some kind.
Okay, let's go. And Tiernan's
think-
going to start crossing the threshold into the
Excellent.
room.
As Tiernan heads off, I think Delgrim will just kind of do a pass and just see if there's any areas in as much as he can kind of see where that kind of thick layer of dust might have been disturbed at any point other than from what they've disturbed themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So Tiernan starts to head in, Delgrim following, looking around for these things. What about the rest of the group?
Well, I can't see, so I will be following.
Yep.
Yes, Tiernan.
And you've still got your little light.
Yeah, I got my
I was just
gingerbread man at the
about to say
moment.
who of us has illumination. A few of us have got dark vision, but who's got illumination? If not, I was just gonna sort of quietly say, do we want me to? Would you like me to light my lantern?
You can do extra bit of light would always be helpful for me, anyway.
All right. So, yeah, that was the reason. I've just realised that so we don't want people tripping over things or tripping things. So yeah, Grumpfel will. I think what is the land? Cast a light spell from it at will, but the light only emanates from the. Okay, so it's basically the on-off switch.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's 20 feet.
Cool.
So it illuminates 20 feet. What's that? Is that the?
Similar to what I've got.
That looks like is that radius or diameter? I can't try looking up the light spell on beyond
It's radius,
on
20
beyond
foot radius.
20-foot radius. Okay, yeah. So
Okay, that's
it'll light
right.
up 20-foot radius.
And
Cool.
40 foot dim.
Okay, so you guys head in after you invoke the light from your lantern on your staff. Rowan, you watch as all of your newfound friends start to head inside.
Grumpfel will look back to see what Rowan's doing.
She's gonna turn and look back sort of where they've come from slightly, I want to say wistfully, but let's go with that as close to a good word as I can come up with tonight.
Yep.
For multiple reasons, I think. And then big sigh of I knew that they weren't actually going to stop and think about going in here before we got down here, and now it's too late. She's just going to sort of wander over towards Grumpfel to stay with the group. But she's not happy about it.
So as you sigh, like it's almost like you feel sort of, your heart drops a bit as you watch what your friends are doing. And then you feel that familiar weight in your pocket. Just all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels a little bit heavier than normal.
She would slide her hand into her pocket to assess whether it is the same thing that has landed in there many, many times before, given it feels heavier.
You slide your hand in and it's the same smooth surface that you're used to. And as your fingers slip around your stone, there is a sense of well-being there is a sense, and quite a strong sense, of something looking out for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's like, you know, when you're a little child and you're out with your parents, you know that they're always going to be there. They're always going to have your back. It's that same really kind of comforting sensation that you get as you put your hand around it.
As sort of feeling that, she'll turn and she'll still she's slightly still dejected about the fact that people said, yes, we'll have a conversation about it, but we haven't. We've just gone in, but sure. And sort of wander up to Grumpfel and sort of stay in his vicinity as they wander through the ziggurat.
So you guys all make your way inside. Your feet sort of stir the thick layer of dust as you make your way through. Delgrim, can you make a survival check for me, actually, because you're looking out for signs of like life, other things that could have disturbed the dust and stuff.
This is a 19.
19. Nothing. Everything around there. It's like it's like looking out onto the first snow of winter, where it's just this perfect, untouched blanket of white, except in this case, it's just this thick layer of dust everywhere. What you will see as you enter, though, is that to the left and to the right, this hallway that you've entered into, this grand hallway, extends offwards in both directions into darkness, well beyond any kind of dark vision any of you currently possess. On both sides, you can now see that there are tall pillars evenly spaced along either side of this hallway to help support the ceiling. You can see the floor as your feet scuff through the dust, which again just sort of stirs up through the lights that you've got working for you at the moment. That even the floor itself has got a beautiful patterned mosaic across it of what appears to be maybe once a vibrant green, but now, again, time has taken its toll and it seems much more faded. You can see as well, just on the very edge of the dark vision and the lights that you've got, that there are small pedestals, sort of almost randomly positioned. You can only see two, one in one direction, one in the other. One of them appears to have been knocked over and actually broken stone. The other one's still standing, but you can see what appears to be shards of broken pottery around the base of it, as if something was once on that and it has been knocked off. You can also see on the very edges of the light that you've got, there are some much larger stones that have fallen from the ceilings, which are high above, down onto these beautiful floors, smashing the beautiful architecture. And more skeletons. Again, only one or two, but there are definitely skeletons in here. The last thing you notice is that on the opposite wall, the mosaic that you can all see now stretches off in both directions, with the images apparently changing as they go further. And as you turn and look on the walls on the opposite side, there are also more mosaics on that side as well, with more imagery, again stretching off into the darkness in both directions.
Just a quick one, Ham. Now that we're closer and we've got the lantern illuminated, we can now see colours on the mosaic rather than just the grey for dark vision. Does that sort of give a bit more sort of context to the mosaic?
Not huge amounts. Again, it probably helps to depict the quality of what's being created. Like this is
it was more of just seeing if any of the foreshortened characters in today's mosaic play were darker in appearance, or perhaps some of our humanoids were slightly blue in appearance within the mosaic is what I was wanting to have a little look at, more focusing on the larger humanoids in the blue.
Yeah, for sure. So what you would notice is that again, the craftsmanship is exceptional. You don't notice anybody blue. You do notice as you sort of look out to the extent of the vision that there are a variety of races depicted here. You see there are humans, there are hobgoblins, there are bugbears, you see halflings, there are a few dwarves. There is definitely a collection of races represented on the imagery upon these walls.
And the image depicts collaboration in construction rather than depicting a war scene or in does it look like I mean, again, we don't want to dive too deeply into it, but it looks like willing collaboration. It doesn't look like enthrallment with like larger figures with whips of persuasion in action.
No, it looks yeah, I mean, like as you can sort of see clearer, you know the imagery is of people smiling and like everyone seems to be very sort of, it's a very positive set of imagery.
Okay, cool.
A collection of people working together for a common goal.
Is this like a continuous mural, or usually murals tend to tell stories? Is this the one we're looking at? Is one further down on the other side of the wall like a continuation? Is it telling a story, like stepping through time?
Which direction are you going to look?
Well, for the first one Tiernan sees is the one right in front of him.
Yep.
Which is, as you described, them building a village or something.
Yep.
When he turns around, the one on the back wall, which he would have missed coming through.
Yep.
Does that show a different story or a continuation of the same story?
It appears to be similar imagery. It appears to be people establishing like a village or a town of something of that nature. So these two ones that you're looking at now, there appears to be probably some kind of connection between them. There's some sort of relation between them. Beyond what might be depicted on the walls in either direction, to the left and to the right, you'd need to actually have a look. Like these are massive pictures. Like the roof of this place is like a good 70-80 feet up, and it doesn't take up the entire wall, but there's probably like 40 or 50 feet of mosaic that runs through the center.
Tiernan will probably start following along the wall to try to find more story.
Which direction, left or right?
Presumably to the... If you want to say have a continuation of a story, you turn to the right. If you want to go to the origin of the story, you turn to the left. So Tiernan would probably head towards the right.
What's the right? Okay.
And Delgrim will follow, so that was his intention, is to stick with, Blinky more than Tiernan specifically, and kind of follow the story through.
Blinky will sort of be like in front of Tiernan, acting as like a spotlight, just constantly facing the wall.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, he's shedding light in a radius anyway, so.
Okay. So those two are heading off towards the right. Is anybody doing anything bar just following along, or?
Well, they'll be definitely looking out and making sure, and not just skipping down the hallway type thing.
Yeah.
But definitely not letting anyone progress enough that where with anything could lead to, and it's not because Grumpfel wouldn't really have that rogue kind of watching out for traps. It's more of aware of construction, being a deep gnome about this is an old building. We've seen evidence of crumbling. We've seen evidence of damage. It's more of let's be cautious. Let's advance cautiously, lest we more of if there's cave-in collapse rather than tripwire traps sort of thing.
Yep. Cool.
Tiernan's focused on the mural.
Yep. Sweet.
Rowan would be keeping an eye out behind us like following with the group, but watching behind because there's two directions things can come from, and we're only looking one way.
And Grumpfel will try to keep closer to Miera because she'll need the light from the lantern. Because we don't want, again, not sort of looking out to not trigger traps. We don't want that, but it's more of providing a light source so that Miera doesn't trip over anything, rock, rubble, that sort of thing.
Thank you.
Okay, so those of you who are sort of looking out, keeping an eye out for things, can you please make perception checks? For those of you who aren't, don't.
Whoa.
Did you want Grumpfel? Because he is looking around, but he's more of watching where the light is for Miera.
Yeah, because just to see if you spot anything.
Okay. No, he doesn't.
No.
Even with the +6. Comes up 12.
With a +1, I get an 18. And I will point out, Ham, that it is that I see normally to 120 feet. Not it's slightly, I think, technically worded slightly differently than dark vision.
Okay.
Devil's sight.
Yep.
Yeah. Just so that
No, cool. Thank you. Anyone else making a perception check?
Linky will for 21, but Tiernan's too focused on the mural, trying to read the story.
Okay. Delgrim?
Delgrim's probably split between the mural and making sure that they're not in imminent danger, but it's only a 12.
Oh, okay. All right. You begin making your way to the right down this huge hallway, with Rowan keeping an eye out to the back. You don't spot or see anything. The rest of you, Grumpfel, you're able to sort of make sure that people aren't tripping over rocks. There's not a huge number of them here, but there's definitely stuff that has fallen from the ceiling, as I mentioned before. But again, even those are covered in a very, very thick layer of dust. You walk forwards and you can hear your feet starting to sort of echo through this massive, massive space, which has been untouched for a significant period of time. Tiernan, it appears that your assumption was correct and that these murals on the wall do seem to be telling some kind of story. As you progress, you can see it changes from a mural of the buildings being built to these wonderful images of these small villages, or maybe in some it's even a slightly larger town. Commoners obviously going about their different, parts of their life. This beautiful imagery depicting almost what looks like a society slowly sort of springing forth, shall we say. Some of the other imagery depicts thriving crops, huge fields full of wheat, a number of images depicting the whole sort of concept of a thriving society.
These images, are they sort of representative of above ground?
All of this appears to be above ground,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yep. There's nothing here which depicts anything else.
Okay.
You continue onwards. Again, this hall just seems to go on and on. Not in a TARDIS-like way, but again, just making you realize, making you realize just how big this ziggurat really is. One of the images that you come across, you see what appears to be the creation of artworks. So it's people working at kilns, people painting. music being played, performances being put on. Next to that, you notice that there is a large image of what appears to be a massive feast of some description. Tables laden with food. A number of people, again, of all sorts of races partaking. All of the imagery depicting people who are very, very happy, laughing and smiling, performers playing music. I'd like you to all please make a perception check for me.
19.
19?
The dirtiest of 21s.
Yeah. Grumpfel?
17.
Tiernan?
17 for both Blinky and Tiernan.
Miera?
17.
17. Okay. You're all laser focused, apparently, on this imagery and what is going on. All of you notice that in this image of the banquet, not so much, almost in the background, but enough to sort of just stick out as slightly unusual. 3 figures, slightly taller than everybody else, wearing these stunning green robes. They're not pretentious robes. They're obviously very fine based on the imagery that's been put on the wall here. One of these people is female. The other 2 appear to be male. And they just seem to be sort of standing back from the revelry that's happening in these images of the feast. Delgrim, what you notice as well is that there's some more of these pedestals, and some of them have been knocked over, as said before. There seems to be sort of random bits which have been broken and stuff, but you notice off to one side a small, like, cooking pot that's on its side, that's almost rolled behind one of the ceiling support pillars. The reason it kind of catches your eye is, A, it's one of the few things in here that you guys have seen that's not broken.
And not stone.
That's not stone. Yeah. But it also looks to be very, very finely crafted as well.
Mm-hmm. And the dust around this thing is just undisturbed.
Yep. Still undisturbed. Yep.
Okay. Delgrim will approach the cooking pot and grab it to have a bit of a closer look, but he'll also point out, I would wager these 3 figures are Esmer, Danna, and Tetranos, and perhaps the 3 that founded the Emerald Empire so many thousands of years ago.
Yes, they also mentioned the three places too. What were those 3 names again? And it's because I've lost my notes, but
And I only remember one, Skeleton. It sounds like my kind of place.
Hamish, what were the 3 places that they'd previously mentioned? One to the north, one to the south.
Tetranos, I think, was to the north.
What was that one?
Was it Tetranos?
Tetranos was
one of the 3.
Yep, was one of the 3 places. Skeleton, Redwalled. What was the 3rd one?
Osgiliath. No, hang on. Wrong set. I can't think of it either.
I think it might have been Alamar. I'd need to check my own notes, to be honest. But yeah. But they were places. Yep. Sorry, John?
Yeah. It just seems to be a bit of the story of the Emerald Empire, and perhaps those 3 figures are the 3 that Danna was previously telling us about.
I think Danna is one of, well, the mind of one of those three figures when they were Esmer Danna combined with their body.
Based on that, Hamish, anything else in the mural look like anyone else that Danna was talking about, particularly Kamateon or...
Interesting. I mean, having a look at the imagery, nothing from your learnings and experience, nothing springs out as an image of Kamateon or any of the other gods that you may be familiar with.
Maisha, anything like that? No.
Everyone just appears to be sort of, fairly like, the reason those three stand out is because they're just that little bit different from anybody else. Like, it would have been very easy to have missed them, but you guys just rolled really freaking well, so you didn't.
And everyone else is just normal and happy and very much alive and happy to be alive and totally normal.
Everyone seems to be super happy and chill. Yep.
That's it.
Delgrim, the pot, you pick the pot up and it's empty, and it feels like it's a little sort of like cauldron shaped cooking pot, sort of thing you'd stick over a nice little campfire.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of distinguishing features of this thing that it might have?
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Sure. That is a 4.
That is, well, it's a pot and it's got a handle and it's made of probably cast iron or something similar. I suppose the one thing that you would notice is that, like, the swords and everything else that you've seen have been ravaged by time. This hasn't.
What did you find, Delgrim?
I found some kind of pot Grumpfel. Perhaps you can use this for your coffee. It seemed to be in very good condition for something that's been here such a long time.
What size? Sorry, Hamish? Like,
it's the sort of size of a pot that you would use to cook food over a campfire for people. So
that looks very interesting. I'm sure that that would make a lot of coffee, more so than we would probably require in the morning. However, that would definitely help with an idea for altering the coffee the way. Yes.
Can I have a look at that, please?
Delgrim will have handed it off to Grumpfel.
He's having a look at it. I mean, Tiernan can have a look at it as well.
Yes, can I just have a look over that, like an investigation check or something?
Make an investigation check.
My mother told me you look with your eyes, not with your hands. It's mine. I shall help you not.
18.
18? Cool. You examine this pot, and the thing that you notice that Delgrim didn't is that, like, there's a little sort of rim on the outside of it, and as you're sort of examining it, you run your finger along sort of under the edge. It feels a bit weird, and you kind of turn it over, and under the edge you see what appear to be arcane sigils engraved all the way around the edge of this thing.
Oh. Can I work out what?
Oh no, we're all cursed now.
Make an Arcana check for me, please.
I'll be pointing this out to Grumpfel as well, because it's literally in his hands.
Yeah.
Do you see these glyphs, Grumpfel?
Oh, very interesting. Despite not his cup of tea, do you want Grumpfel to roll an Arcana check?
If he's having a look at it, sure.
Cool. 18 again.
18.
Do not read these sigils; they may explode. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Arcana +1 for 17.
17. Okay. I'd just like to say, screw you, chat. So you yeah. So as you finger the rim, you discover and check to ensure, and it appears to be like, you can't fully decipher them, but it suggests that there is definitely some kind of arcane property on this pot that potentially enables it to like cook extra food or cook bountiful food or something of that nature. Like there's some sort of strange enchantment on it.
Does that sort of tie into the whole prosperity with the farming and so forth in the mural? Okay. Well, I'd just explain that, yeah, it seems to be
Stretch.
just bountiful and cooking. But,
Is magic pot? To make magic coffee, perhaps, Grumpfel.
Yes, this could come in quite handy.
there's something definitely to hang on to. Yeah.
If they've gleaned everything they can from the mural, I think Delgrim might kind of wander over and have a look at some of these pillars and the I think you said clay works or pedestals rather.
Yeah.
On these pedestals.
So you've noticed sort of as you've made your way along that there are occasionally these pedestals sort of intermittently positioned down along this large hallway. The closest ones you can see now as you sort of investigate around, it's very obvious that like on one, there was probably some sort of clay work, whether it was a pot, something like a jar, which has been knocked off, fallen off, whatever it is, and shattered, and is just sort of buried under the thick blanket of dust. A couple of the pedestals that you've seen previously have been knocked over. Some of them you can see it looks like rocks from the ceiling have fallen and smashed down onto them. And as you are progressing, you're still noticing every now and then skeletons throughout this place as well.
Pitted weapons and armor, do they have anything else on them? Like any sort of satchels or anything like that? Just sort of weapons and armor?
Just where it looks like weapons and armor, if anything at all.
Do they look like they've died in situ? Like, has there been obvious wounding? If they're just skeletons, I know there's no thing. But does it look like, I mean, obviously you can tell if like there's a skeleton there and part of its leg or its arm has been, broken through somehow, or is there a sign to the skeleton itself of
a violent death?
Violent death, yeah.
Look, on at least one or two of them, you would definitely see what appears to be signs of violent death. Crushed skull, smashed ribs.
So something went through here and made a mess of them on the way through. Okay. Does it look like only because Grumpfel's got the cleric and medical background? Little CSI, does it look like the fight happened heading back out, or does it look like the fight happened heading in?
It'd be very difficult to establish that. Yeah.
Just thought I'd check because then that gives us a sense of what happened.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So are we sort of getting, and this is Tiernan talking, we getting the sort of sense that this is a temple of some kind? I wouldn't assume this is a tomb, considering.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have the feel of a tomb, except for these poor wretches sort of scattered where it appears where they fell. I haven't seen too many tombs that have mosaics such as these, and would leave cooking implements in such a way that it wasn't collected for the person to use in the next life, sort of thing. This seems to be almost like they're on display in the sense of
perhaps
a museum or yeah.
Well, Danna did say it's a place of learning, so perhaps this museum idea is not too far from truth.
Right,
we should still, of course, be very wary as we progress.
As we're walking along looking at the mural, has there been any entrance there's like any doors or anything like that we've come across at the moment. It's just one flat wall.
One big, long, continuous, grand hall heading off into the darkness. Yep.
Have we got to the end of it yet? Like to the end
yet.
of the...
Nope.
Okay.
Keep going.
Down.
You guys continue onwards, probably for another sort of 80 or 90 feet. And those of you with the long dark vision can now see just on the very edge that this hallway turns to the left. And it will be fairly easy to establish that you've sort of reached the end of that edge of the ziggurat as it goes around the corner. What you do notice on the walls now, though, is that after all of these depictions of banquets and feasting, there appears to be a depiction of what you could probably ascertain as almost like a council, where you can see a large circular table around which there is a male halfling, a male hobgoblin, female human, female furbolg, a male Goliath. And scattered amongst those 5 individuals, you can see the 3 green-robed figures. It looks very much like there's no sort of main head of this table.
No hierarchy.
There's no hierarchy. Thank you very much, Ron. Kate Rowan. It seems to be very sort of even, very much depicted in that fashion.
Perhaps this is council, which Danna made reference to when speaking earlier.
So the council is circular, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Where were the 3 figures in relationship to the circle of?
Just enter. So they're all. So there's 8 figures altogether around this table. Those 3 are sort of interdispersed amongst the other 5.
Ah, so they're on
So they're not
equal footing.
So they're not grouped together. Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to mental picture things.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do a sort of try to ascertain if the figures are supposed to represent someone through history or known history?
Yeah, I was just about to say,
like a
do you
history
want
check.
a history or do you want a religion check in case it's to do with like not directly Kamataeon, but
Yeah. No, I know.
like ancient disciples thereof or something like that.
For those of you who are trying to sort of maybe ascertain some sort of historical relevance to this, make a history check for me, please.
Good. A -1 to wisdom. This is going to come in so handy. That's a natural 20. I take it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so 19 for Rowan. Grumpfel?
Well, Rowan's -1 beats my +1 because I rolled an 18 for a 19.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sorry, a 17 for an 18.
That a natural 20 goes down is sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, 17 for an 18. Cool. So she still it beats me with a negative.
Tiernan?
23.
23. Okay. Okay. Grumpfel and Rowan, nothing kind of springs to mind with like looking at it, and you're also conscious that from what Danna had said to you, a lot of this was from thousands of years ago. Tiernan, due to a pretty high roll and the fact that with the way Cathar Baal works in its travels, something kind of like it's like you kind of get that tickle in the back of your mind, and you're like, there's the three green figured people, and you've made some guesses about that. There are these 5 other council members who are depicted here. The Rivenlands is made up of 5 duchies. Could there be a connection? Danna has spoken of the Emerald Empire. She's mentioned Skelethorn, which is a place you've never heard of before, but Redwald is definitely one of the existing duchies that you know of. But thousands of years ago, the others might not have been in existence.
If I don't know whether it's worth doing it, but I think Miera probably would have been thinking at Danna and asking her, like, if we haven't been able to come up with it ourselves, she would have been asking who are the people at the table on this mural.
Yep, cool, okay.
Just before that though, because you said about the history of the 5 duchies, is there a particular noble family that rules in the duchies? Were they race specific? The noble lines?
A number of them were. But
All I'm trying to ask is whether or not he can match it to the 5 individual distinct races that were at the council.
They don't all necessarily match.
Okay.
But for example, you would know that I think Kingsvale, for example, has had some changes, and actually so has Redwald.
Okay.
You know, sometimes the person who is ruling, there's been an end to a bloodline or something similar. Apologies if every now and then a tail appears. I'm getting mauled by a cat.
I ran the cat command. It's
Yeah.
fine. People can just keep
I
count.
was going to say, are we about to run into Larry?
Oh,
Right, go back to Cass now. Sorry, Cass.
Meow.
Pretty cat.
Does Tiernan make
the
the
DM,
opposite?
the DM has been distracted, and Cass will never get an answer to her question.
Yeah. Sorry. So, Cass, Miera, you asked a question of Danna. What was that question again?
Yes, if she could tell us who the people at the round table were. In the mural, in the ziggurat. Does she seem familiar with everything?
Oh, okay. You asked Danna. Danna does not reply. You hear a different voice.
Mm.
It's that other female voice. It's similar, but just that little bit different. I know who they are. I could tell you there are a lot of things I could do for you.
Like?
I could make you and your friends some of the most powerful people in these lands.
Is this in all of our minds? Or
This is just in Miera.
Oh. Ooh.
Wonder you didn't say take your headphones off.
I was tempted, but I trust you guys.
Miera's going to become a queen of the ziggurat.
Yeah.
How would you do that though? And what would we have to do?
I would need you to destroy Danna. And then come and see me in the center of the ziggurat. and I will give you gifts beyond your imagination. I will make you powerful enough to rule these lands, just like the people in the mural once ruled.
So you're in the middle of the ziggurat.
Yes. And I know that you're coming to find me.
Are you stuck there at the moment?
I know what your intentions are. All I ask is that you destroy Danna. You side with me, and I will give you everything your heart desires, including answers to your dark dreams.
Just to clarify, is Miera answering out loud or answering in her mind?
No, in her mind.
Okay, just thought I'd check.
Well, we're all doing the art show.
Yeah.
I suppose she probably won't answer the question, but Miera will think back how do you suggest if we were to destroy Danna, how would we do that, in your opinion?
Bring her to me, and I will help. I need
You can't come here.
Bring her to me, and I will help. I need her close. I need me close. I will destroy her.
Okay. I have noted that she has not answered my question a couple of times, so I'll just say I'll get back to you.
Okay. She doesn't go, oh, okay. There's silence.
Yeah.
And I think there as might be where we pause for our break this evening.
Amazing.
Miera's just given her the your call is important to us. Please hold the line and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Bury that.
I love that this choice has been put in front of Miera.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it.
And somewhere out there right now, Rowan's like, something terrible is going on. You can feel it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's a disturbance in the force.
Meta Grumpfel is low-key concerned.
Okay, so
Meta Rowan will lose her absolute shit. It's gonna be great.
We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you very much to everyone who's hanging around with us and watching tonight. I hope you're having fun. Go out, stretch your legs, get a drink, go to the toilet, do whatever you want to do because you're free people, and we'll be back soon.
You're so bossy. Jeez.
I am. Only if you
Like it bait us in. Pull the lever.
Pull the lever, Saz!
Yeah.
Pull the lever!
Oh no, not that one. That's embarrassing. Hi. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We're just going to jump straight back into it. So, Miera, having received a reply to your thoughts, but from Esmer rather than Danna, were you planning on disclosing any of this to the party, or are we just moving on?
No. Miera will tell the group that she has heard from Esmer, and we'll mention that she said that she was in the middle of the ziggurat.
I'm sorry. Esmer spoke to you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So just asking about the people in the mural. I was asking Danna, but Esmer popped up instead.
Oh.
And Danna didn't reply.
No.
That's probably because she might be busy trying to keep us hidden.
Rowan looks pissed.
Is it visible or just like is it abundantly visible or just sort of on the simmer?
Nope. She looks as big mad as a little halfling can look. She looks big mad, but she is not saying a single word.
Does Miera tell us about what else was said, or just that she answered instead of Danna, and that she's in the middle of the ziggurat?
I will maybe mention that Esmer mentioned about bringing Danna to her.
Yeah.
To destroy her, but apart from that, I won't tell them anything.
Nothing of the deal. Okay, cool. Just so I know where, because when you say I tell everyone, I just wanted to find out what exactly you relay.
So she wants to destroy Danna.
Danna want to destroy Esmer.
But she wanted to join.
Join and take themselves back, I suppose.
That would imply that she's fearful of Danna joining her. Or them, I should say.
Whatever they have become, the goals seem to be misaligned.
Okay.
You continuing onwards?
Tiernan will be.
Yeah.
As we move along, Grumpfel's just going to sort of side up to Miera and say, "Did she sound fearful?"
No, she sounded
happy.
No, like a little on the aggressive side, I guess. Like she wasn't as friendly as Danna. Like her voice is a lot meaner, I feel like.
Interesting. Oh, no worries. So yeah, not fearful, not aggressive. Like okay, but if she sounded fearful, it may work in our favor. But yes, no, excellent, thank you.
Okay.
And then Grumpfel kind of just melt back a bit towards where Rowan is, because he did notice that she wasn't sort of totally
pissed,
jovial.
Yeah. Okay.
Miera will continue, but will be kind of, you can see that she's thinking, she's like kind of chewing her lip a little bit and thinking about things.
Cool. You continue onwards, your footsteps echoing in the darkness. And it's quite strange now, because as you come up to this first corner and look down, you can see again this hallway just stretches off into darkness. There's darkness before you, there's darkness behind you, and you're just in this massive, ancient space. As you continue onwards, you notice now that there is another image on the walls. This time it's the depiction of what appears to be a battle. This battle shows a number of soldiers fighting what appear to be giants, or at least creatures that are very, very large. Probably sort of twice the size of a regular person. But the imagery is strange in the respect that they're covered in this, the giants are covered in this strange, almost like shell-like plating. I'd like you to all please make a history check for me.
14.
18.
Ooh. Dirty 20.
19.
We're going to use up all our good rolls.
Yeah,
That's my plan.
I'm just checking out this sweet artwork.
Yep. Miera,
18.
Sorry?
18.
18. Okay. Wow. Okay, everyone rolled really well.
Mm.
All of you recognize from stories that you've heard, books that you've read, Grumpfel, for you, probably even potentially having actually seen these things before. These giants, are native to the Giant Hammer Mountains, far to the south. Basically, the Giant Hammer Mountains they're probably only maybe a day or so, or a couple of days travel from Svezina.
Yeah.
Located on the very edge of the Duchy of Mortgate. And a part of, they're sort of to the south of the Scimitar Mountains. And there's a gap between the Scimitar Mountains and the Giant Hammer Mountains, which basically is the main pathway that leads through to the Wayfarer Plains, which is where Cathar Baal would travel as well. The other thing that you will notice with this imagery, as long with the fighting, is that there are 3 large dragons that are all partaking in this battle and are fighting with the people against the giants. The dragons you can see are all green in color, but it's because of the age of these mosaics. There's something strange about the appearance, like the way it's been depicted on here. It's almost like their scales have got like a crystalline or gem-like nature to it, rather than what you might have seen in books about dragons, where they're just sort of normal sort of scales.
Did you say the dragons were fighting against the giants?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the dragons and the people against the giants.
And the dragons were green?
Yep.
And crystalline.
Mm-hmm.
Familiarly green and crystalline.
Very hard to tell, just because of the age and how much of the color has just sort of worn over the
Are the pieces of the mosaic just a green tile, or are they something else and that happens to be green being shaped to make the mosaic?
Just a green, just normal green tiles.
Puts away chisel and hammer.
Yep.
And I'm assuming the shade of green that's used to represent the dragons is the same shade as the 3 road figures from earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
These giants, my people, have stories of such beings, but they are very far to the south and west of Gloomrot Mountains, where I'm from. They seem very far north for these to be.
Unless they've beaten them back to the south, as this battle seems to suggest.
This may be the case.
Grumpfel,
Yes.
You would be very conscious because of your location, and Miera, you would probably be aware of this too. That to the south, where the giant hammer mountains are, and where these giants reside, there has been a significant conflict raging over the years, where the giants have actually allied with creatures known as the Tosculi, which are a type of strange insect-like being, which has launched many an attack on the duchies to the south. But all of these duchies to the south are all still part of the Rivenlands.
Is that as far south as the Winter's Gate, or that's still Giant Hammer Waspwood area?
Yep. So everything west of the Scimitar Mountains and the Giant Hammer Mountains is deemed the Rivenlands and is part of one of the 5 duchies.
Right. So when you're saying giants from the Giant Hammer Mountains, the insecta. Sorry, what was the
Tosculi come from
Yeah.
the west of those, and the woods of Waspwood.
Okay, you said right. Sorry, I thought you meant like the Scimitar Mountains. That's sorry, I'm getting those mixed up.
That's
Looking
okay.
at the map now. That was. Okay, I relay the information that I've worked out about the giants and being from Giant Hammer Mountains and the Tusculi.
Miera will chuck in an occasional, yeah. She also knows this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that.
I was just going to say that.
When we are clear of this place, you will have to tell me more of these monstrous insectoid creatures. They sound very entertaining.
From what I understand, they would make a rather splendid contribution to your list of creatures that you would like to observe, and then
Kill.
Yes, that's it.
You have come to know me well, Grumpfel.
As for these dragons, and looking like the three figures before, these dragons look green and crystalline. That's very interesting.
How so?
I feel this mural is depicting what could be obviously a historical moment, but it gives me pause that perhaps the Tyrolite from Svazina, and indeed what we've found here, may have another significant attribute, contribution to history, ability. I don't know. I can see, or unless I'm mistaken, I can see there's something connecting them. As to what and how and why, I still haven't worked that out. But I'm very much intrigued by these murals. But that being said, we still have to be mindful of why we're here and be cautious.
Perhaps Ravina, Grumpfel, is home of one of the other 3 of these dragons.
Well, see, that is something that did cross my mind. Can Grumpfel recall any knowledge of the dwarven settlement, its name, or any other little pieces of information prior to Svazina being there?
You would know what it used to be called.
I can't think off the top of my head.
Yep, no. I can. Let me just whiz through my notes. So the dwarven city was originally called Tarrandwell.
Herondwell?
Tarrandwell.
Oh, Tarrandwell.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I've got that in my notes, unless I do, and we just haven't discussed it recently. Oh yeah, there it is there, Tarrantwell. Yep, cool. Right. And was there anything in his knowledge of Svezina and Tarrantwell allude to dragons of green crystal scale or any of the 5 figures around the table with the other 3 figures? There's nothing there. That's cool. Just thought I'd ask just in case.
Okay, cool.
Well, the more we read, the more we find out. What was the room again, Hamish? We're in a room or a continue of the
Hallway.
Continue the hallway. Yeah.
Okay. We'll continue.
So you continue onwards. There are more of these depictions of battles and stuff. You're making way down. The next significant change in the mosaics that you encounter, you can see what appears to be a funeral. There is sort of an open sort of stone table upon which a woman has been laying upon it. And you can actually tell that this appears to be the same female woman who was depicted as one of the council members in the earlier mosaic. There is what appears to be a dwarven priest in attendance, surrounded by others, all robed, and they are all holding the holy symbol of Kamateon. Behind them, you can see a tall figure sort of looming over the top of them, dressed in white robes, their face obscured by a hood, their arms outstretched, palms upwards. In front of this imagery, there is another one of these pedestals. This time, however, the pedestal hasn't been knocked over or anything, and there are 3 things on there that catch your eye. One of them is a very large tome. Beside it is a small ink pot. No quill, just the ink pot itself. And in front of it, still on the pedestal, is a strange-looking mace.
Then I'll immediately go over to look at the book.
And this is the first time we've seen the symbol of Kamateon in any of the mosaics.
Correct. So you're going over to have a look at the book, Tiernan. What's everyone else doing?
Yeah, Grumpfel will, because of the symbol, he will go over and have a look as well. It's caught his attention for sure. Just enough on that tipping point of curious versus cautious.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, Delgrim will linger, just kind of paying attention to what Tiernan might find, but similarly just kind of rescoping, making sure that they're not coming into any areas that looks like, some ancient evil has been kicking up dust around in.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to where we will be going?
Delgrim will be kind of scanning.
The reason I ask is because Rowan would be watching our back, basically.
Cool.
So
you're both just kind of keeping an eye out. Yeah. Okay. Miera?
Is there any, I suppose I want to look around, see if there's any, text or anything like that. You know how in a museum they'll have, a little plaque next to it to tell you what it is?
Or even if a mosaic, sometimes down the bottom in the mosaic, there might be something set in as well. I just thought, yeah.
Yeah. Delgrim was here. 2023.
Just a dick and
Chiseled
balls.
this here.
Okay. So Miera, Miera, you can have a look straight away. No, you can't see any text of any nature. That obviously sticks out. Tiernan and Grumpfel, you go over and have a look at the items that are sitting on the pedestal.
As we get closer to it, I'll just point out on the mosaic, and kind of over my shoulder to everyone, saying, "This is the first time we've seen the symbol of Kamataeon," and I'll point it out on the mosaic.
Well, it's a funeral, is it not?
Yes, but we've not seen it anywhere else in this place. And Danna previously has spoken of Kamataeon like they were friends.
Mates.
Yeah. Yes.
Is
So-
the white figure Kamataeon?
Hamish, where was the symbol? The symbol was close to the white robed figure, or it was no, it was
the dwarven priests.
on the dwarven priest.
Yeah. But I mean, for you, Grumpfel, you're pretty confident that figure in white, just based on the representation, the size, it's definitely a way that Kamataeon has been represented in imagery prior. So you would be pretty confident that that's
Even
Probably.
in white, it would be Kamataeon, or wouldn't be Maisha.
no, even in white. Yep.
Okay. Oh, then yes, he'll point to the figure then and say,
So in front of you guys, there's the book. The book itself, you can see written on the cover. It says, "The Tome of Mercy."
"Does that name ring a bell to Grumpfel at all?"
Nope.
Okay. No historical sacred text.
No,
It doesn't.
doesn't ring any bells. Doesn't.
What condition is it in?
I mean, it's covered in dust, like everything else in this place.
No, I mean, does it? Most things that we've come across have been in a very have aged, fallen to pieces, been rusted, and so forth. Except for the pot, which seemed to have arcane glyphs on it.
Yep.
Which seem to have been on a pedestal or fallen off. Apart from the dust, does the tomb look to be intact?
It looks okay. Like, it looks like it's bound in very heavy leather. You can see there's almost like sort of iron sort of bindings across the top and the bottom.
Well, Tiernan will then pick it up to have a look at.
Just before Tiernan does that, Grumpfel will slap his hand away, and with the other hand having touched his holy symbol, "Kamataeon, give me sight," and he's going to cast Detect Magic.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So what you would see then is that the book would give off a faint glow of magic to you. The mace would give off a faint glow of magic. And the small ink pot just to the side of the book that you hadn't really kind of noticed too much also gives off a faint glow of magic.
Yeah. And like Grumpfel will have grabbed Tiernan's hand at almost unnaturally fast.
Yeah.
With that.
Excellent.
And then he'll once he's done that, he'll follow up with a sorry, and then he'll let Tiernan's hand go, and then he'll look around. The pot, whether he's attached it somewhere, someone's got it. He'll look for that, but Detect Magic is good for its concentration up for 10 minutes, so we may as well use it so we don't lose it. I will look around mosaic pedestals up and down in the immediate vicinity.
The pot also glows. Nothing else as you look around.
Okay, so pedestals, mosaics, nothing in the area. So the little cauldrony pot thing definitely does as well. Okay. Can you
Can I touch the tomb now?
Can you tell
Grumpfel?
me what school of magic they may be?
I always hate this part of detect magic, so
Yeah, it's the
I never-
worst.
The worst.
it's
It's
the
best.
it's the
the
worst.
best.
It's the one that is most relevant for what these things are. Which
Yeah.
I have no friggin' idea.
Something you should know, though, Hamish, is you probably want to make notes for that, because I think we got three people who can cast that spell.
Just enchantment, because it's all enchanted stuff. So there you go. Cop out.
Just on a segue, I had a DM once where we were running in a party where there was 6 players, 4 of us were magic users, and we always had significant magic items all of a sudden had enchantments of what is it where you
Hide the
can't
magic, whatever the magic
like it hid what the magic was for anything significant.
I'll still reach for the tome.
And time slows down enough that the DM can tell us, so that Grumpfel can tell Tiernan what he's discovered. Although I dare say Tiernan would understand what he's done when he's cast detect magic.
He's familiar with it, yes.
So you just gonna pick the book up?
No, I want to know what the school of magic is first before.
Enchantment. Didn't you just say enchantment?
Oh, I thought he was saying it was enchantment because
It
he
would
said
be
they were enchanted. But
Yeah. I don't think there's like, what are you trying to ascertain from the school of magic?
if the school of magic coming off him is anything like evocation or something like that, we open the book and it's got a rune that says, haha, don't read this, we're screwed.
Is it going to explode?
Transmutation, are we going to all turn
Is it
into...
going to explode or immediately do anything to us is basically what this question
It's
is.
trapped with baleful polymorph.
All these items seem to be cast with necromancy.
There is nothing about this that would suggest that it's about to explode in your face.
Yeah, John, if it's necromancy, what do we tell the god of death? Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
So it's just in like whatever's enchanted in there is enchantment, not in the sense of it's enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Then Grumpfel said, Kamatown has told me that these have a faint glow of enchantment about them. And then he'll kind of give Tiernan the sweep of the hands to if he wanted to pick something up to look at it.
Well, that sort of makes sense, Grumpfel, because it seems like any item which is on these pedestals seems to be magical in nature, considering the pot from earlier with the arcane glyphs. So.
Oh yeah, what was the school of magic? Was that enchantment as well?
The school of magic for that cooking.
Okay.
School of Ramsey.
It's culinary.
Yeah, culinary. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, I think I know who gets the pot.
Okay, so Tiernan's picking up the book.
Yes.
Okay, look, you pick it up off the pedestal, and it seems to be, it's surprising. Like it doesn't crumble in your hands or anything like that.
Just turn the first page to have a look.
Doesn't open.
Ah. Is there any lock on it?
Yeah, have a look.
You said there was iron bands or something, Connor?
Not like securing it, just sort of like across the sort of along the top and the bottom of it, around the spine, to kind of strengthen it. It's quite chunky, like it's quite a chunky book.
How big is it? Like,
Yeah, it's a decent sized tome. Like,
Home sized.
if you dropped it on your toe, you're going to know about it.
sort of what, A3?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
A3?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a scarab beetle in the front that you've got to unlock with a little box.
Okay. Well,
Does it have anything that looks like it would fit the ring?
No, not that you can see.
What was written on the front of it again? Sorry. How to cook for 40
Time of
people.
Mercy.
Promethean.
Mm.
Delgrim and Rowan, can you guys please make perception checks for me?
I'll be just looking at this book, seeing if there's a unlock mechanism.
Perception?
Yep.
Dirty 20.
23.
Oh.
The
Okay.
right people have their eyes out.
So, whilst Tiernan, Grumpfel, and Miera are all now sort of crowded around this book, having a look at it, the two of you are sort of looking out into the darkness beyond the small sphere of light that's surrounding you. It's interesting because the light, you get the shadows sort of cast off the pillars that line the hall, this long grand hall. You get the shadows that are cast off the small pedestals that things are on.
Mm-hmm.
What you then notice is that the shadows like flicker and move as the light from like the lantern flickers, as shadows do.
Mm-hmm.
Until those shadows start to detach. And around you, you see more of them start to coalesce and slowly begin to close in around the group. And at this point in time, I'm going to give you guys a link to Owlbear Radio.
Friends, beware. Danger approaches.
So I'm just sticking it into the Weeby Live.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
Yeah, rodeo.
And then I will ask you all to please roll for initiative.
Sorry, I just remembered that on Albert Radio, my character name is the original Rowan. All of the chaos.
That's good.
Oh, sorry.
So I do ask you, please, for the moment, that if you, for some reason, have access to the icons along the bottom, so like mounts, characters, props, and stuff, please do not click on those, as there could be spoilers lurking in there.
Ooh.
Everything else has been put on.
Does luck work on initiative rolls?
Sorry?
Does luck, as in luckiness, work on initiative rolls?
Any roll of a 1. Yep.
Well, 6.
Everyone just hold off on those because I just need to get organized.
6. This is not going to go well for Rowan. Not at all.
Are we looking at Owlbear yet or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because when you said I need to get organized, I was a bit like, oh, should we not have gone into it just yet?
I rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 3. It was not a good time, chat.
I'm just looking up that lucky, but it says when you roll a 1 on a d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die.
Well, then it's a 4 instead of a 6. I'm still going.
Consider initiative or an ability check.
It is strictly speaking a dex check. It's just the outcome of that dexterity check.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out.
I will utilize. Is initiative an ability check when it comes to portent, lucky, and halfling trait?
I think it makes sense personally. So I'm
because it's like the distinct D20.
Because it is when combat starts, every participant makes a dexterity check to determine their place in the initiative order. So it is an ability check, so it does count.
Yeah. Even like if Hamish says yes, well, then I say to heck with the rules. If he said yes,
has decided.
Maya with a lovely singing voice.
It's just one of those interesting things that I just double checked on a couple of places just to make sure that I had it right in my own head. I
think like the flavor of lucky, right? It makes absolute sense. And again, it is at its core, it's just a dexterity check, right?
I just kind of wish the
outcome is the order of initiative.
I kind of just wish they didn't label the feat lucky and the halfling lucky the same name, because a lot of people will say lucky and mix up the meaning between.
What's the lucky feat?
There's a lucky feat. It's completely different. It's like you get luck points, like 3 luck points.
Oh yeah, and it's a reroll, right?
So that's why they call it. So. Like a lot of people talk about it as luck, as opposed to being lucky as so lucky the trait. So lucky the feat is that you have 3 luck points that you can spend them on.
Yeah.
Whereas halflings just are
lucky.
Just got that sweet luckiness.
I think I've seen a lot of people that have said straight up as a table rule, no lucky lucky halflings.
Well, I mean, I did talk to Ham when we were like just, while Ham's setting up, and we're all going to die. I did talk to Ham at the start when we were doing character creation about the reasons why my character would be lucky, because I don't like having the halflings that just be lucky for no reason. I like there to be a reason for that. And funnily enough, if you're a warlock, there's a really obvious reason that you're lucky.
I like the idea of halflings being lucky, because I feel like truly evil people in the world would then just have like caged halflings on their back or like near them to take advantage of that luck.
Are you talking about a lucky hobbit's foot?
Oh God!
And the real reason Delgrim's hanging out with us has now been revealed.
Okay, so I am now prepared. So what I would like everybody to do.
Sweet.
So, anyone got initiative over 20?
Oh, hang on. Oh, initiative. Shit, that's what we're doing. 20.
20?
Dirty 20.
My pen's going to
Almost like you did that on purpose.
So the dice roll was a 17 plus 3 is 20.
Okay, 15 to 20?
Yeah, 18.
15.
15 for Miera. 10 to 15? 5 to 10?
9.
9. And 6.
How many times do you want to say 6 there, Ham?
Box. Okay, that. Okay, so what, as you hear Delgrim call out, his pen's going to stop looking just to haunt me. All of you sort of lift your attention from this book, and you see swarming around you, the very shadows have come to life. And it's almost like the darkness is swarming down upon you now. Grumpfel,
Yes.
you are at the top of the initiative order, followed by Tiernan.
Right.
What would you like to do, Grumpfel?
What happens when you want to do a double move for a... No, just kidding.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Does looking to see if I recognize these things count as an action?
What are you trying to ascertain?
I know that I realize that we're in initiative, so they can obviously be attacking us. But if Delgrim's gone, look out, and I've looked up and I've seen these things, considering we've just spotted something in there of Kamateon in this book, it's a sort of a split second, like, are these things really friend or foe? If I don't have that time for action, then Grumpfel will take Delgrim on face value and prepare.
There is definitively nothing friendly looking about these.
Okay, cool.
Any of your experiences, they seem to be of a particularly unholy nature.
Okay, it was more of like a follow of Kamateon. Kamateon sometimes as a white-robed character, sometimes as a darkness sort of thing. It didn't want to inadvertently dislike, Kamateon comes down and says, cool, mate, you've just wiped out 14 of my followers. Thanks. Yep. That's that split second sort of, what do I do here sort of thing. But if there's definitively nothing good about it, okay. Well, then in that case, Grumpfel grabs for his holy symbol and says, Kamateon, protect us in our moment of need. And he casts Spirit Guardians.
Yuck.
Oh, okay. All right. What does that look like?
Let's say 2 white-robed figures.
Okay. So they just these apparate around you and start just swirling about Grumpfel. It's a 15-foot radius or something like that?
Yes. 15 centered on self, 15-foot radius. Okay. Anything within that needs to make a wisdom save. Hang on, what is it? Affected creatures. Speed is half for the area when the creatures enter for the first time or start its turn there. Okay, so no, not just yet. Wisdom saving throw of 14. Failed save, they take. Oh, hang on. I've got the Staff of the Lantern Bearer, which will add the DC by 1, so that's a wisdom 15 for them.
So just very quickly, I'm just going to quickly jump in because I can measuring. I've balked the map a little bit. That ruler is incorrect. There are squares on that map. Each of those squares is 5 feet. I think currently it's the ruler set at like 10 feet. So for example, Rowan, the ones that are closest to you at the bottom are only a few feet away.
Yeah, so just count the squares rather than use the ruler.
Okay, it's just the squares aren't coming up super great on my screen. That's why it's.
No, that's cool. I saw you doing it. I didn't want you to be going off balked data.
LNL, that's amazing. Thank you. That was incredible to read. And it was in the exact right tune immediately as soon as I started reading it for some reason. Hold on.
You're not. Okay. So everything within 15 feet when it's their turn, is that how it works, Grumpfel?
Yep. So it'll be a wisdom save of 15. Because it's wisdom 14 plus 1 for the staff. Do you want to go through anything else? And before we get to that, I don't think you need to worry about it.
Just as long as I know when I've got to do that and it's on their turn, yeah?
As they enter?
As they enter or begin their turn in the radius.
Yep, cool. Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Basically, based on that, 5, 10, 15, pretty much all...
And I obviously designate everyone as everyone in the party as friendly, including Blinky.
Yep, no, that's totally cool. Okay. So Tiernan, you're up next, and you would observe these things swirling around. Yeah, Grumpfel?
Sorry, that's a spell.
Yep.
He still gets an
section.
Picking up something, is that an action or a bonus? And it's not a bonus action.
Picking up something's fine. Yep.
He's going to pick up the mace.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yep. No, you grab the mace. Absolutely fine. Okay. Tiernan, your turn.
Just a question for you. 10-foot radius sphere.
Yep.
Is that a 3x3?
10 feet.
4x4.
10-foot radius. So from your point, it's 2 away from you in both directions.
Any point. I'm thinking, like if you draw it as an area, is it? It's 4-5 squares.
It's
because that'd be 10 by 10 then.
So it's 2. So you're here. So it'd be those 2 squares, those 2 squares, those 2 squares.
I can't see any. Well,
I always treat it like a diamond when I'm trying to look at it on a map, John. Like, so straight up and down, it's 2 squares, but to the side, it's probably not. It's probably like just to the edge of one far away from you. Like it's a bit.
I just need to know how much area it covers. So how would we go about drawing? Okay. So that's 10 feet.
No, I'm just trying to move it. It's going to give me the shits now.
Can I grab that?
Oh, hold it.
Yeah, that's like 10 foot to me.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the range of that? 60.
It'd be just a little bit extra on some of those edges. That's just its bit. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So basically, don't count the square that you're in, and then it's 2 squares away from you in every direction.
Okay. It's a point that I choose is what I'm getting at.
Right. Okay.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Right. So if it's a point that you choose, then it's 4 squares.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Tiernan's going to look up after he hears that. Go, and drop the book, and immediately cast Shatter, and he will cast it. Oh, you got rid of the thing.
Right.
You pull that back up? Oh, is that the right range?
2, 3.
Close.
2. Yeah, roughly.
All right.
Wolfenagel. As long as I know where you're centering it, I can work it out.
I'm just trying to see if I can catch as many as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can only really hit the 4 of them.
So you'd get, if you centered it there, so be 1, 2, so you'd get, those ones. Yeah. 1, 2.
Watch out for Blinky.
He'll be right.
I consider Blinky sort of on me.
Okay, so how does Shadow work?
Okay, Shadow works is I pick a space within 60 feet, and within a 10-foot radius sphere, everyone gets a Constitution saving throw.
Do you have to cast it on something to make it shatter, or is it just
From a point of your choice.
Okay, cool.
It's like a sudden, loud, ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range.
Okay.
So it way it visualizes it is literally he pulls out his pistol and quickly fires off a shot directly into a spot, which just erupts.
Okay. All right, so what's the DC on that?
Good question. DC 15.
That's a con. Right, DC 15. So we'll go 3 of those 4. Okay, so one of them saves. Okay, so one of them has saved.
Okay. So it's 3d8 thunder damage.
Mm-hmm.
On a fail set 3d6. Now, he's got the arcane firearm, which says you gain a bonus to 1 of your spell's damage dice. Does that mean I have to roll that 1 on individual creatures, or do I just simply add it to the damage roll and go from there?
I'm not sure if it applies to AoE stuff.
If it's a spellcasting focus.
So read the ability.
You can use your arcane firearm as a spellcasting focus for your artificer spells. When you cast an artificer spell through the firearm, roll a d8 and you gain a bonus to 1 of your spell's damage rolls equal to the number rolled. It's hard with
so I think
AoEs.
you just add an extra d8 to the overall damage. That would be interpret it. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, quickly roll it. $19, $21.
21. Okay. So 3 of them failed, so they take that.
Half damage? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Failed take full damage. Successful takes half damage.
Yep. Okay, so how does that look when you do it?
Literally, he fires out his gun in sort of like almost like a panic reaction, and it shoots out a ball of condensed energy until it reaches the spot, and then it literally stops and just explodes with a intense noise.
So there's that shattering sound, and all of you just almost cringe back from this crack, which echoes down the hallway in both directions. You watch as it has very little effect on these creatures. You watch it as they shimmer and shift, and it's done something, but not nearly what you would expect from when you've used that in the past and when you've experimented with that sort of thing before.
Okay. It is thunder damage, just in case.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else? Bonus actions, movement?
Not much, other than that's about it. Bonus action. We're surrounded, so he will activate Blinky into his what is that form?
Murder sphere.
Murder sphere. No, not quite. He'll turn it into his protector.
Nuclear weapon.
Protector? Okay. Cool.
Is that a bonus action or an action? Let me double check that while we'll move on.
Yep. Okay. It is now their turn. So, they have to make their saving throw. What was the DC again? Sorry.
15.
15. Can you please roll the damage for me?
Damage! Certainly. And this is radiant damage as well.
Thank you. Sorry?
12.
12. Okay.
If they save, they get half. So 6 on a save.
What was the saving throw again? It was wisdom.
Wisdom 15.
Wisdom 15.
If it's radius 15, does that mean we've pretty much got all of them in that radius 15
It'll
off
be
me?
all of them.
Cool.
Okay. So, as the ringing slowly dissipates from your ears, you watch as this wave of shadows starts to swarm towards the group. There is almost this strange flash from the tome. And you watch as these guardians that are now swarming around Grumpfel shred every single one of these things. As they pass through them, the shadows just disintegrate into absolute nothingness. Until all that you are left with now is the flickering of the normal shadows and the tome lying on the ground, just slowly sort of fading slightly from this strange light that's emitted from it. Everything has been utterly and totally destroyed.
Grumpfel will gingerly reach down for the tome and pick it up.
You pick it up. That seems like a regular book.
Did the mace do anything?
The mace didn't, but as you sort of have a look at the mace, you can see that it's a fairly kind of typical looking mace. The haft of it sort of slightly resembles the trunk of a tree, almost similar to sort of like the holy symbol of Kamateon. The branches start to sort of spread out and form sort of the is it flanges on a mace? I think is the right word.
Sure.
Yeah. Correct me if that. And nestled in the middle of that, there is a sphere, and you can see the sphere itself has got a number of holes in it. And it appears that you can actually open the sphere up.
It's more like a ceremonial mace than a combat one.
It would look like it would still, and like it looks very functional. Like like all the stuff, all the branches that are coming up are very wicked and sharp and very sturdy. And unlike the other weapons that you've found around this place, this is in immaculate condition once you've dusted it off.
Grumpfel will kind of not collapse, but he'll just plonk down on his backside, sit the book and the mace in his lap, get the holy symbol, his holy symbol, and say, "My thanks for answering in our moment of need. There to guide, there to help, here to serve." And he'll put it back down, and he'll pick pick himself back up, and the book
As
and
you
the
do
mace.
As you say that, the cover of the book flips open.
Tiernan mutters for favoritism.
Delgrim will say, "My thanks also."
The book closes.
Throwing your jade there, man.
What's inscribed on the first page?
Again, it just has the title, Tome of Mercy. Make a perception check for me, please.
All contents within this book are fictitious and made up. Hope you enjoy reading it. Come a town. Not so good.
there.
14.
14. Okay, well, that's not too bad. As you look at it, the text, the words almost look like they're moving slightly. Almost like the ink's kind of like sort of almost squirming on the page a bit. I think this is the longest I think I've ever managed to make Heath be quiet, like ever.
He's thinking. Let the man think.
No, it's not me thinking. It's Grumpfel like assessing. Fear not my intention. Fear not my hand. Divulge your secrets. And know you speak to a friend.
The pages start flicking. Kind of almost like... And then it stops on probably up towards the beginning of the book fairly quickly. There's an image on one page. The image is of what appears to be a human male in robes and what appears to be almost like a fighting stance. Not holding. And in one hand, they're holding what appears to be the mace that you have found.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not wearing any armor. It is purely just the robes. And it looks, it's sort of an unusual stance that they're in. The text on the other page, as you sort of glance over it, is also sort of got that same slightly sort of squirming nature to it. But you can see as you flick through that it's talking about what appears to be an ancient order of Kamataon, one that you've never heard of before, that practices something called the Way of Mercy. As you're looking at that, you kind of glance at the picture, and it's sort of your typical sort of medieval, slightly sort of stylized image of a person. And as you glance across, the man winks at you.
Well, I'm not currently seeing anyone, but I feel this relationship might not have the depth I'm into. You seem a bit two-dimensional.
The book closes.
I'm out.
The mace beats you to death.
Ow. I did not need water up my nose, Heath.
I'm sorry.
The pot of ink throws itself over your face.
Also, just as a great time, hello Raiders, thanks for coming along.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome.
We are less
fun.
in Wolf Town now. We kind of maybe got rid of a whole bunch of shadows real fast.
Yep.
Yes, we're in a fun. We're in a funky ziggurat with some very
Yes,
cool
we.
mosaic art.
The royal we.
That's it. Okay. This is a very unusual tome. This, from what I gather in the last quick moment of reading, speaks of an ancient order of Kamateon that I've not heard of.
What do you mean you haven't heard of it before? You follow Kamateon?
I do, and I've not heard of this. Now, one could surmise that perhaps it's a work of fiction, but given what we've just seen and what the magic that this book radiates, this is either an incredibly elaborate ruse, or it is simply something that I've not heard of before. It is intriguing, to say the least.
Strange that it's here as well.
Indeed.
It's not strange. Again, we've been told this is a place of great learning and knowledge. Of course, we find things which you'll learn and know. Tell me more of this order.
I think at an appropriate juncture, a little more perusal of this tome is in order. I think right now, given that we've just had a number of shadow-like apparitions try to attack us, this is probably not the spot to sit down and flick through a book in an open passageway. I think we need to sort of, if no one minds, I think I'll hang on to this book and this mace, and the ink in the ink pot looks like it's the ink in this book. I wish to share everything with everyone, but these items speak to me.
No, these speak to you and to your faith. You should absolutely.
Having said that, the previous claim to the pot. If anyone wants the pot, I am not one for not sharing.
I think you were supposed to find these items, Grumpfel.
I believe you speak a whole truth. I think I was, despite most of us not wanting to proceed in here, and I'm still very cautious and wary, and I haven't stretched yet. I believe that entry to the ziggurat has rewarded, but still wariness is in order.
There is still a very powerful creature in the center, Miera tells us, of this place, who is capable of doing us great injury. But relax, I have planned for how to make sure that Danna prevail in that particular encounter.
Do you wish to share?
I have planned. I do not wish to put any of you in danger. I put only myself in danger and hope to give Danna opportunity to get close as they have requested.
If you tell us the plan, then we could help.
I'm going to turn invisible and sneak up on body of dead 4,000-year-old dragon.
I was about to say, perhaps she can hear us.
I mean, Rowan is going to turn invisible and sneak up on body of 4,000-year-old dead dragon.
Cunning plan version 2.
Oh, shall we continue?
The entire party realizes suddenly why Rowan hasn't said anything this entire session.
Hamish, yes. Like, if anyone wants the pot, they can have it. The little inkwell, does it have a lid on it?
So when you look at the little inkwell, it's empty. No lid.
It's empty, but it still has had that glow of magic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, yes, Grumpfel will grab that and stow it. Now this book is quite large. It's not like it's just going to fit into the backpack, is it?
You could probably find some way to arrange your gear and get it all sorted out. That would be fine.
Okay, nice. As for the
It's
mace,
your new
again,
backpack.
well, yeah. As for them, like Grumpfel's very aware that he doesn't want for a lot, and the fact that these three things have fallen into the party's lap, all very almost specifically for Grumpfel and for a follower of Kamateo. He's very almost borderline ashamed that there's nothing from these to share with the party. So he's going to be very bumbly uncle trying to pack these things away. Very bumbly uncle putting the mace onto his belt. That sort of actually no, he'll probably hang on to the mace as a sort of a tactile thing, given that the ink pot he can't look at properly, the book he can't look at properly. At least maybe hang on to the mace as something tactile to ground the moment that he's received a blessing.
So when you close the book and start to pack it up, you close the book and it opens again, and you kind of close it and it flicks open again, so to a different, some different page.
Each time I do that, is it a new different page or the same different page?
It's a new one each time.
Maybe it wants to be kept open.
Like the second time you sort of close it and it pops open, you're like, oh, whoops, okay. And you close it and it pops open again. But this time when it pops open, there's another illustration, and it looks like it's a couple of priests. And you look at one of them and you literally see the head turn and look at you and look, and it was just sort of talking, and suddenly it looks sad.
Do you think perhaps, friend Grumpfel, that the book has been lonely in this place for all this time? Maybe you need to... Is that a thing that happened with magic books bestowed to one as gift from one's god? I do not know.
This is incredibly. This is the magnificent mixture of incredible, incredulous, wondrous, and yet baffling. I've never seen nor heard of a tome such as this. I don't want to say it out loud, but I am wondering whether this book is sentient or contains sentient beings, and just kind of looks down at the page.
The priest, who was looking sad, has now sort of gone back to the original picture. But again, there's still that slightly weird sort of squirming,
like a shimmer type thing.
So not even a shimmer. It's literally the words are literally moving on the page. Not enough to make it hard to read, but enough to you would do a double take to start off with, but you can sort of now notice it more.
You dropped it on the floor and it opened, so maybe if you drop it again, it will close.
No, it did. It didn't open when Tiernan dropped it. It opened when I
picked it up.
Yes, when you said your prayer and picked
up.
Yes.
Didn't respond to me.
Because it blipped to help get rid of these things.
Well, can you read it, Grumpfel?
It written in common, under common.
Yeah, it's just written in common. Yep.
I can read it, Tiernan. Tell me, can you see anything when you look at the page? Do you see? Does anyone see anything when you look at these pages? I see illuminations and text. Does anyone see anything?
Do I?
You look over at the book. It closes.
This book is not meant for me, Grumpfel. It's a puzzle for you to work out, perhaps. Perhaps maybe have a look at that inkwell, considering they were all on the same pedestal together.
The pot is empty, yet it is magical.
Was there a feather in the inkwell at all, or it's just
no? Hamish said no writing implement.
Just a little inkwell.
Okay, Grumpfel is actually turning a little bit of red because he's feeling very self-conscious, very center of the conversation, very abashed that these things again seem to respond only to him, and he doesn't like not being able to share out stuff. So there's a tumult of emotions going through him. When he looks back down at the book, does it reopen?
Is Tiernan still looking at it?
Tiernan's going to deliberately turn his head and not look at the book.
Okay.
Because he knows what he knows by reason of experimentation, so to speak.
It doesn't pop open.
In a sort of a quite low voice directed at the book. Do you understand the words I'm saying?
No.
The cover opens slightly and then closes again. Then it opens more, and the page goes flip, 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 flip. And it gets like 3/4 of the way through. And at the top part of the second page, so almost like the first place where your eye falls, is the word yes. But it's like part of a sentence.
Ah, okay. So like it's in a thing, and then that word illuminates to answer.
It's like, yes, said the high priestess, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's the first word that catches your eye.
Are you aware of where you are?
The pages flutter and then stop and then flutter backwards and stop and then flutter forward and then back and then forward and then the cover closes.
You know not where you are, but you know of whom I follow.
And the page, that book springs open straight away and faster than like you've seen so far. It leaps to an image of a tall white-robed figure with a number of priests standing around. Again, very obviously a depiction of Kamataon.
Am I to learn from you, or am I to inscribe you with history such as been inscribed previous? That might also get a 404 flutter close response.
I'm just a dumb little book.
All the little priests give him the thumbs up.
the buddy Kamataon.
Look, the pages flutter slightly. It pauses on a section which appears to be like sort of a narrative history. Sort of briefly enough for you to kind of like cast your eyes and get the sense of what that is. Then it flickers across to another section where it's almost like an instruction manual. Like there's actually imagery on there of what appears to be movements that people could make. Like it's like literally shows depictions of people going through various movements with their hands and their legs and their feet. It looks like it might be some kind of almost like a self-defense manual in some respects, but
so not like
not like sort of
a semantic casting
no,
spell
no.
book sort of thing.
Seems a lot more sort of practical than that.
Oh, okay.
But then it sort of flicks to another page, which is a bit of a history thing. So it's almost like it's showing you different elements which sit within the book, but aren't necessarily like lingering on anything in particular.
Chat says Tai Chi, but I think if Grumpfel did Tai Chi trying to learn from the manual, he'd probably fall asleep halfway. It's nap time now. Cool.
Maybe more Thai coffee.
Yeah. Then he's going to hold the book. He's going to say to the book, I need to pop you away in my carry pack because my friends and I need to finish what we've started here. I understand that you have knowledge to offer, but now, unless you can show me otherwise, now might not be the time to invest the time in study.
The book very slowly, almost reluctantly closes.
I feel like I've written it a Dear John. I think we should see other encyclopedias. It's not you, it's me.
Well, no, it's not you, it's A.
Hey?
It's not you, it's A. Get it? Encyclopedias like A through C.
Yeah.
But I'm ching.
Yeah. That was a stretch. Okay, cool. So, with the book packed away, the mace now attached to your belt.
No, I think he'll hang on to it. I think he'll hang on to it because he still wants something tactile for the discoveries made.
Yep. Cool.
And the inkwell popped away.
Cool.
He might just have a quick look at the top of it, but I think it was more of I think we've dallied here long enough, and Grumpfel kind of, again, still feeling very self-conscious in the sense that the last... I'm guessing this would have proceeded over sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the confrontation with the apparitions.
Yep.
Apparitions. Okay, yeah, Grumpfel's had enough of being the center of attention on this, and he wants to pack that all away and keep going with what we were here originally for.
Cool. Okay.
Back to the mural then, yeah.
He will put his hand on the depiction of the symbol of Kamateon just quietly and
Cool. Are you guys going to continue onwards along the hallway?
Think so. If there's nothing else of note.
Yep. Okay. You continue down the long hallway. There's more imagery. There's nothing that particularly kind of sticks out. Again, a lot of it still reflects back on the forming of societies. There's more depictions of these members of the council, but there's nothing sort of that really stands out to you as you continue along your way until you get to the far distant corner before this hallway takes another left as you've got to another sort of length of the ziggurat itself. Still no doors or entrances out of here that you've noticed. As you get to the end, though, you do see now something slightly different. You see here that there is a depiction of one of the dragons, an actual dragon. And it appears to be talking with a halfling. The halfling doesn't look like the halflings in your party, just in case anyone's concerned about weird stuff like that.
The grandfather loop.
Yep. Looks to be a small, fairly chubby male halfling who is holding a lute And around the halfling, there are a number of small motes of light depicted on the mosaic floating around them. So not real light, but just these like images of little lights around them. Next to that, there is a depiction of a huge building being created. It appears to be not castle-like in nature, but more almost scholarly in some respects. Tall towers, long sort of halls and wings. Depicted around it are numerous musicians playing various instruments, but other types of performances as well. You can see in the imagery, it appears that there are people who are made to be looking like they're singing, reading texts, a number of different sort of artistic endeavors. And again, one of the dragons, this time back in what appears to be sort of the more human form with the green robes, appears to be overseeing the building of this establishment, along with the halfling that was depicted in the original one. One thing that you do notice that's very particular about this imagery, though, is that the wood that's being used in the creation of this building has got a very reddish tinge to it. In Miera, you would be very familiar with this, coming from the Duchy of Redwald, which is famous for the redwood trees there. It would be very, very apparent that it's being constructed from the trees of essentially your homelands.
Is it the trees like high up, like, or is it low enough that I could maybe just touch? I want to see if it's actually the wood being used in the mural as well.
You can see from where you are that it's not actually the wood itself, but you can see, like, it's very obvious. Like, nowhere else in these lands has that wood of that type.
I would point that out to whoever's closest in the
Good,
group
because
as well.
Grumpfel would have been upset that the crystal scales on the dragon were green crystal. Why does she get wood? No.
So you guys continue onwards, unless there's anything else that you wanted to examine here.
Is there any pedestal with things?
There are a couple of
cheeky 3 magic items to someone else.
Again, Grumpfel wants to make sure there's enough for everyone. Like, no one else got anything. Do you want to share, Grumpfel?
There are a couple of pedestals here, but one of them's been knocked over. The other one has got nothing on it. You do find what appears to be like broken elements on the ground. One of the things that you actually find is what appears to be probably a broken harp, which has been smashed.
Anything particular on it? It was just a harp. There was no symbolism, no symbols, ornamentation.
Nothing. Like it's been well and truly smashed.
Did we find the pot in front of the big feast mirror?
Yep.
Yes. Is that what you say? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then we found the tomb of Mercy, which seems to have a lot of connotations with Kamateon, in front of the funeral. And then we see a broken lute in front of the mural associated with the halfling figure that's actually holding the lute. It's almost like
this is place of great learning and knowledge.
almost like a remembrance of the events that is being depicted in the mural, and either their magical items associated with that event, or just replicas for the event. But it almost makes me think that the let's just call them relics. The relics that you have in your hand, Grumpfel, may very well have belonged to the female human who was on the funeral pyre.
That is quite the possibility. I truthfully had thought of that for a moment, and I feel very humble about accepting them, though they weren't given. That seems like it's kind of they've. It feels like they were here for a purpose. Is that purpose their function passing to me? I don't know, but I think they would be of great benefit, and to leave them here for who knows how long, and how long they've been here, seems a waste of their gift.
No, I'm just trying to think that
it's strange that they're magical, and yet the other items, well, the pot we've established is magical, though we're not quite sure what. The harp, was it? Who did it belong? I don't know. It's
Any
almost,
instrument is magical in the right hands, is something
Yes,
my mother
it's-
always used to say.
it's like I don't know about you, Tiernan, but it almost feels like this is a place of great learning. I feel like this is the first time we've thought this out loud. No, I'm just kidding.
Hamish, can Tiernan inspect the mural to see if he can recognize any religious symbolism of one of the particular gods?
So on this particular part that you're standing in front of at the moment?
Well, we've established that the previous mural had depictions of Kamatea.
Yep.
The one in front of us, and I'm assuming that the gods of Peldorn and this world are known by all. It's like common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I could. So what I'm asking is, do I recognize any symbolism or any traits associated with the god of Lu in the current mural?
Okay. Make a religion check, please.
Religion 21.
21. Oh.
Nope. Okay. Well, there goes that theory.
Make a I will. No. Just no.
Okay.
I wonder if depictions of musical instruments and performances here has something to do with Danna's constant, incessant questioning about who great artists and musicians and performers are in modern day. Perhaps this green-robed figure with halfling is Esmer Danna, as in
Patron of the arts, per se.
Human form, perhaps, yes.
Oh, yeah. I guess we continue further.
You continue onwards. Now, effectively at the back of the ziggurat. Ahead, you can see a different depiction on the wall. This one's quite different from many of the others that you've seen before. This one depicts a large, beautiful hall in which men and women are filling it, dressed in resplendent outfits. Elaborate gowns, beautiful suits, immaculately coiffed hair. It is obvious that this is some kind of very regal ball or event. There's no depiction on this one of any of the dragons that you can see. But I will, however, get you to all please make another perception check for me.
It's 0 roll.
So Rowan's run out of good rolls.
Yeah.
Grosso
9.
9. Delgrim?
23.
Oh, Tiernan?
Okay, Tiernan rolled a 1, which means he gets 0, and then Blinky rolls a nat 20, which is 24.
Miera?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So you do all notice that there are a few more pedestals here than there have been in other places. Most of them, however, have been knocked over, and you can see what appears to be the remains of like broken glass. Some of it slightly colored, but all of it completely shattered and broken. Delgrim and Miera and Blinky too, but probably Blinky less so because it's Blinky and it kind of doesn't make as much sense in some respects. You notice that amongst the glass there is a glint of gold.
I'll roll you for it, Cass.
Okay.
It's a straight D20. What'd you get?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you were rolling.
19.
Like you were gonna
17.
mark
Off you go. Go for it.
So I will just get down a little bit lower to see if I can elbow people out of the way. Just see like if I can determine what little glints of gold are. Is it actually gold or is it something else?
I think Delgrim will just kind of push away some of the glass with his foot if it's surrounded.
So barely visible amongst sort of some rubble and glass and some broken rock and stuff, you see an absolutely stunning bejeweled golden like hairpin or hair comb, I suppose is more appropriate. The sort of thing someone of great wealth and fashion would use to hold up their hair. It's absolutely stunning.
I will turn and show it to the group. I don't know if the detect magic is still up at this stage.
That only went for about 10 minutes.
Yes, I'll show the group what I have found. Gold hairpin.
The figures on the mural, were they recognizably the council members from earlier?
They just look like just random people.
Just real fancy dressed up people.
Be fancy like.
Getting
We
there.
haven't seen anyone wearing a similar type pin amongst the council people.
Not amongst the council people, not even amongst the people on the mural, no.
It stands to reason that the item is supposed to be reflective of the event that's in the mural. Oh. So it could be of magical nature.
Seeing these people have found great wealth and prosperity from their association with these 3 dragon beings.
Miera puts it in her hair. Does all her hair fall out?
Make a Constitution saving throw. No, I'm kidding. No, you just put it in your hair. It's beautiful.
Hang on to that for now, Miera. We'll check it when we get out, I guess.
Goes well with my emerald ring.
Well, your fashion is certainly hairpinning.
Oh, fuck. You guys continue onwards.
Why is my camera not
Gave him
working?
all the presents, and this is what he does with them.
What is going on?
You probably go another 90 or 100 feet. The murals, nothing else of any great sort of note springs out in regards to the murals. There's a few more of these sort of balls, elegant events which are depicted. But then on your left, you can see a large set of tall double doors. Left, just to help you orientate yourself, would lead towards the center of the ziggurat.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've always taken a left, so I imagine we're in like a spiral in.
You are literally on sort of almost at the opposite side of the ziggurat from where you came in at this point in time.
And so, I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave it up to yourself. Do we think Delgrim could get a sense of that kind of direction
Oh, easy.
based on? Yeah, okay, cool. So I think Delgrim then will probably draw out like a rough outline of what he thinks the ziggurat kind of looks like. This is not quite to scale, but and we'll kind of depict the doorways sort of going into the center and making it clear that that's the direction that they head in. We're still based on that kind of travel on the outer edge of the ziggurat, though. Like we're not actually in the
Haven't
center, are we?
And
Okay.
close. It's almost like it's just run around the very outside.
It's like the next concentric kind of square, then inward. Yeah, okay. This will not lead directly to center where await Esmer, but it will take us further into Ziggurat.
Let's go then.
Just thinking, when Esma did speak to me before, she mentioned that she wanted us to bring Danna to the center so that she could destroy her, which means I feel like she can't get out.
And Danna wanted to be taken to Esma so that Danna could. She said Esma's mind is weak. So for same reason, they each wish to destroy or consume the other. And again, I'll happily deliver Danna to Esmer and see how this unfolds.
Could be a rejoining if we return Dharma.
I think
I believe
that's
is the
probably
right
the
way to go.
preferable choice. Yeah.
I guess we have to protect Dharma as much as possible.
Apparently, Danna is protecting us, so.
Are the doors open or are they closed?
Closed.
Ahead of us. Okay.
Can we peek through the middle of them, or are they sealed tight?
Just
They are-
open them a little crack.
They are very much sealed tight.
And is there a similar mechanism as for that front door? Like
No, these appear to be just like large iron-bound wooden doors, but they're probably about 60 feet high. Like they're very, very tall.
Open them, I guess.
Was that open them?
Yeah.
They take a bit to budge, and much like everything else here, there's sort of a slight rain of dust and grit that falls from the ceiling.
I'm literally getting a picture of Tiernan going, trying to throw his meager weight into it.
They finally open inwards, revealing a much narrower corridor. So this is more of a corridor where you've been traveling through a large hall up until now. It's still quite wide, so it's still like probably a good 20, 25 feet wide. And you can see it travels off into the darkness, just beyond what anyone can see with the dark vision and the like.
We're just standing outside now with these open doors.
Rowan does not look impressed by the fact that this is just something that people are comfortably going along with, but she, given how well her discussions with everyone last time went and the fact that people are being back in people's heads, isn't saying anything.
What are you guys doing?
Tiernan, would you like to send Blinky ahead?
Hooky hook. Blinky moves forward.
You watch as the glowing light of Blinky floats down the hallway. You can see on the walls on either side there are sockets for where torches would have been put in. And there are torches there, but they're all unlit. Blinky travels probably about sort of 180 feet before you can see off in the distance the light shining on another set of large double doors.
Is there enough light in here that we can all see and not requiring dark vision, or?
No,
I will be using prestidigitation to light any of the torches along the way.
Cool. Sweet. Awesome. They fire up if you get close to them.
Based on the kind of length of this hallway then, and the size of that front-facing wall on the outside, would there be a sense that heading in through those doors would take us to the actual center, or would we still feel like we're further on the outer rim?
You would still definitely be getting much, much closer to the center if you progress this in this direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Delgrim will follow Blinky down.
John.
So there's nothing else in this room except for the torches on the wall.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a long hallway.
Okay.
Yeah. Delgrim will follow Blinky down towards that doorway and probably just listen at the door. So if this place is, completely undisturbed for thousands of years, I feel like any kind of movement of or such might be fairly easy to pick up. So he's gonna have a little listen, see if he can hear anything.
Make a perception check for me.
You make a perception check.
Okay.
18.
I rolled 300. The DM, screw you. No, 18. You listen at the door, and all you can really hear is the shuffling of your companions' feet, the rustling of their gear. You can't hear anything coming from the other side of these large double doors.
Would you all be quiet, please? I'm trying to listen to hear if there's any danger on the other side of the door. And not hearing anything on the other side, then he'll very carefully open this one up and peek his head through to scope the room.
Okay.
I love that we're all fidgeting. I think that's great.
You push open the double doors, and in front of you can see another very, very large room. There are 3 pillars on sort of either side, sort of offset from the center of the room, obviously to help support. 2 of them are smashed and broken, the rubble of it cast across the floor. On the very, very far side of the room, you can see a large, stunning stone statue of a dragon. Unlike the one that was on the very top of the ziggurat, its wings are more folded back, and it's almost sitting up in a very regal position with its head high. Looks very similar to the depiction of the dragons that you've seen on the mosaics. There are 4 very, very large metallic braziers around the center of the room. But in the very middle of the room itself, you can see a large stone platform set into the ground, so it's only got about a half a foot step up onto it. In the middle of the platform, there is a lever. And in your head, all of you hear the voice of Danna. Up. I'm up. We are up. We know you're coming, but we do not know or see. You must take me close to we. We must touch. You must stay close. I will take you into our mind. And there you will help me reform. Please. We are so close. And that is where we are going to stop for tonight.
Only had money on Saz appearing to pull the lever.
Saz is
Wrong lever, Kronk.
Who's Kronk in the group?
yeah.
Oh yeah, LNL. This entity is dead. Basically, it's mostly dead anyway. So it seems that its body is in the ziggurat. Its mind is in this little crystal thing that we found.
He's looking for Tablev.
Out of curiosity, who's actually holding Danna?
Miera, I think.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Miera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That could be a mistake. That laugh is way too easy. Evil.
Oh.
Yes, because Danna was a hand, or what was it?
No,
Holding
she
a
was
hand.
being held. She was
I held a hand.
in the hand.
So I was going to
Yeah,
say.
piece of
I was going to
crystal or
say.
something.
Danna is just the actual hand itself.
Can you go back and get the rest of me from under the water? Oh, really?
You missed a bit.
Yes. Well, for the moment, we'll leave the hand with the mirror.
Every now and then you turn around and Miera's picking her nose with this.
Back scratch.
Well, this seems important.
Yeah. So, as is tradition, let's do a whip around of people's favourite parts. Who would like to kick us off with? I like creating interesting words.
You can go straight to hell with withers. Thank you. Get wrecked.
Oh, it's too easy.
I will go, I guess. The tomb and the way of mercy.
Do people mean the tome? Because people keep saying tomb, isn't it?
That's me. That's me.
Home.
I'm thinking tomb, because that threw me before because Ethan was saying about it's a great place of great learning, but because we touched on it being, is it a tomb? Is it a temple? Is it a So I was like, hang on a second.
I think
I'm forever getting the pronunciation of that word wrong. I don't know why.
Appropriate with all of this anyway, so just putting it out there.
Yeah, just the way of mercy being shoehorned in. You and the monk.
Who says it's shoehorned?
I didn't mean it like that, but
I'll take. We'll roll initiative, and then the rest of us will just sit back like this and let Grumpfel go ham. Yep, that'll be great. I was like, shadows. I'm like, I got nothing. Oh, Grumpfel, Spirit Guardians, great, no worries. I'll just chill out over here and pretend like I have to do anything.
Bait and switch.
It was definitely I didn't think it was going to be that effective. I thought it's going to help, and there's going to be some wailing and gnashing and beating and hitting and casting and that. I thought, Spirit Guardians is going to help. I don't know how much it'll help, especially when you were saying about, we're doing the saves. What roll for damage? The damage not the greatest, 3D, 6, 12 is good. It's, that's 2/3, and say for half a 6. Not sure how much that'll do, but it's like when you sit.
That was the vulnerability to radiant damage that shadows have. Hey.
We assume.
Oh no. If those were shadows as defined, I may have looked up their stat block the other day for something in October. So I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
Well, they're definitely now radiant shadows.
There it is.
Title drop. Well done.
Did we have that on a
Fully.
bingo card? Damn it.
Okay, who else?
I am a fan of just the sheer volume of lore drops that have occurred throughout this entire session. And I love that it's not like just here is a bunch of hard information that is true and accurate and stuff. It's like I think we collectively have joined a bunch of dots, so it may kind of be semi-accurate, it may not, and it's just kind of enough to let us do that. And I think it's been fun watching each of us kind of go through that process in our own way.
It's been very interesting watching how you are like you're linking stuff together or how you're approaching sort of certain ideas and concepts. Yeah.
It's a very clever way of doing it, I must admit.
And Cass.
I have enjoyed the night at the museum. I think it's been fun. I enjoyed the just the stunned silence from Grumpfel as well.
Yeah.
When things were starting to kind of click into place, I think, in his mind. I thought that was really good too.
Look, shout out to Heath, who I know has had a rough day. And I did give him a bit of a heads up that there could be some Grumpfel type stuff that rolls around with us. So, dude, like you did an exceptional job this session of rising to the occasion, despite the fact that it's been a massive day for you.
Cheers. When you sent the message through out like hey, Grumpfel stuff. Okay, cool. I got to sit around and I got to verbalize some wisdom from an 80-something-year-old deep gnome when the occasion calls for it. Okay, sit that in the back of my head. Was not expecting the things to fall in place for Grumpfel then to interact with. It was like not only myself, but he wouldn't expect this sort of level of gifting from the being that he follows. So the stunned silence was both mine and Grumpfel's for the moment. It was good, man. I enjoyed it, and when we play with a talented GM and talented players, as you all are, one can only rise to the occasion.
It's been fun. The bad news is that we won't be playing in a fortnight because it's
Easter.
the Easter break.
Mm.
And a bunch of people are off doing fun stuff, which is awesome. So it's going to be a month before
That is unfair.
Yeah.
progress onto what may lie ahead. And I think we've got to nail down some few details about that as well. So, but anyway, as always, for everybody who's hung around with us for the entire evening, like time is the most valuable thing that you guys can give anyone, and you've chosen to spend your time with us, and for that we are always eternally grateful. We hope everyone has enjoyed themselves this evening. Keep an eye out for our next In the Shadows session, because that could be interesting. And I think at the moment we're just looking for a raid target. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Can I just shamelessly plug, given I'd forgotten that we weren't streaming next fortnight, I forgot to plug this at the start. On the 6th of April, which is our Saturday between our streams. It's the Saturday after Easter. Saturday Australia time, Friday US time. I will be over on Rule of Law, who is another lovely Twitch channel on their Ramblemancy chats, just having a general chaos chat, probably about TTRPG things, possibly about all kinds of other things. But they're a lovely bunch of beans who do all kinds of TTRPG things. That will be 10 a.m. Perth time or midday Eastern Standard Time, because by then you will no longer have daylight savings, because I had to work this out the other day.
Yeah.
So it'll be like lunchtime for anyone on the East Coast on April 6th. If anyone wants to come hang out with us, you can. There'll be more information on my Twitter as and when. But yeah,
Excellent.
if people want to come do that, it's fun too.
All right. Do we have a raid target?
We certainly do. We are going to raid out to Phoenix Iwaki, who's doing a Goblin Punks one-shot, which sounds like a super amount of fun. So please, for those of you hanging out, thank you again. Do stick around for that. And I'm sure I speak for all of us here when I say you are our personal and individual favorites.
Absolutely.
Goodest of nights to you all.
Good night.